Chapter 594. Not friends, he needed to speak with the guests and figure that out. If the guests really wanted to befriend him, Shao Yunwan would have gone and asked him, and if he was needed, he could even be informed at the college. But no one asked for him. Xiao Liulang still believed that Shao Yunwan must have set this up because Shao Yunwan did not want to let him hang out with anyone. He had failed the examinations a few times, and even though he did not say anything, Xiao Liulang was panicking inside the heart. That was why he wanted to befriend some wealthy and talented people desperately, so as to show that he was capable enough to be recognized and also gain their help. Hence, he felt furious when he heard his mother telling him about the guests at the first section of the family. Obviously, he would only blame others for this. He felt that what belonged to him was stolen away by Shao Yunwan. Xiao Liulang felt that his eldest aunt was just being unreasonable, so he went straight into Shao Yunduan's yard to speak to him. But the door was shut from inside. He did not manage to push it open. "Open the door, cousin." Xiao Liulang banged the door. No one answered it. Xiao Liulang continued. The two doors were sealed. "NIS." Feng laughed and turned around. Xiao Liulang was very loud, so Shao Yunwan heard his voice through the open window, thus shutting the door early on. He was not going to talk with him about this anymore. Absolute waste of effort. It was correct what his wife had said earlier. One could never wake up someone who pretended to sleep. He was going to see how much longer Xiao Liulang was going to pretend to be asleep. The door was not opened after a long while, and he finally got tired. He turned to go back to Ms. Feng. "Eldest aunt, why is the door shut?" Ms. Feng answered casually. "He is studying, so he doesn't hear or respond to anyone. You know that when Yunduan is devoted towards his studies, he cuts himself away from everything. If you want to speak with him, you can come back tomorrow." Xiao Liulang was very stupid and easy to deal with. Funny and annoying. Ms. Feng made only casual efforts to push him away. Xiao Liulang felt so irritated. He felt that the first section of the family was getting very unfriendly. He claimed himself to be a learned man and had no words to argue further with Ms. Feng. Xiao Yunduan ignored him, so he really was at a loss. "All right, I will come back tomorrow." Xiao Liulang left with his head lowered. Ms. Feng pursed her lips and shut the gate. But Xiao Liulang showed up in the evening again. The family was home, and it was bustling in the yard. Xiao Yunwan was just speaking with Qiao Xian after reading the book for the entire day. Xiao Liulang accused Xiao Yunduan of not inviting him over, but Xiao Yunduan did not want to deal with him, leaving Xiao Liulang talking on his own. Eldest uncle could not stand such behavior from his son. He consoled Xiao Liulang and then looked at Xiao Yunduan. "Yunduan, do remember to inform your cousin when you have guests coming over next time. You are all learned people, and you can have a lively talk. If you share some ideas, you can help each other improve." Xiao Yunduan replied calmly, hearing this usual talk from his father. Brother Xie doesn't know cousin well enough. Chapter 595. Problem with the third section of the family. Xiao Liulang got so irritated when he heard that. "But we had such a nice conversation last time." Xiao Yunduan. "Still, none of them mentioned cousins at any point in time. Did you ever hear them mention him, Dad?" Eldest uncle got stuck in words. Xiao Liulang turned furious. "You must have messed it up. You were just jealous of me." Xiao Xian blinked her eyes, looking confused. "But cousin, why must you befriend young Master Xie? You have so many disciples at the college whom you can befriend, right?" Xiao Yunduan turned a smiling face at Xiao Xian. Xiao Liulang stiffened. Why must he befriend young Master Xie? They were Shao Yunduan's friends, and of course, they were going to stand by Shao Yunduan's side. He would not get anything good out of them. He knew that, but he just did not feel convinced. He wanted to put Xiao Yunduan into shadow. Just wait and see. Xiao Liulang left the place in anger. He was going to surpass Xiao Yunduan in the future. Xiao Xian felt that Ms. Yin had already controlled the second section of the family by gathering forces with Shao Xiling. Ms. Niu and second uncle were focused on the Yin family, so they had not disturbed them for a while. They would stop coming to the first section of the family when they found that the Yin family could earn the money and it would help them live a better life. But the third section of the family was still a very difficult thorn to deal with. Xiao Liulang was incapable, but arrogant, thinking highly of himself. If he failed the examination every time, he would keep babbling. If he did make it through, he would not be a good officer. He would only cause trouble for himself and others. Xiao Xian hoped that he would never make it to the cultivated talent. Back at home, Ms. Ma felt so sorry for Shao Liulang. She said angrily, "I know they are all bad people. They want us to have bad luck. Just don't visit them anymore. Shao Yunduan will distract you due to which you may not be able to clear your exams. You should study hard so that he can shut up one and for all." Shao Liulang felt even worse. Of course, he knew that he could shut him up in this way, but it was very difficult to pass the exam. He had thought that it was very easy to make it to cultivated talent, and he even aimed at becoming an advanced scholar. At the time, he never cared about the title of cultivated talent, but he was not all confident about any of this any longer. Days passed, and all the preparations were done. The cassavas started to bud. Xiao Xian found the green scenery so beautiful and lovely. When it matured in autumn and they got the flour, they could make all kinds of soft and chewy taro balls and balls for bubble tea. They could also mix the flour with pure flour or glutinous rice flour to make various glutinous rice cakes, dim sums, etc. Xiao Xian spared some time to take Qi and Tao Tao into the town and sold the honey to Manager Qin. Then, they visited the land agent to buy the slope located next to the flower field. The field was bought, and other work should be done after the farming period was over. Then, it would be time to concentrate on cassavas. The plants needed to be planted on the mountain, shielded from animals, so the villagers would not find that interesting. If someone wanted to plant it next year, she would even provide free stems and teach how to plant it, as well as teach different ways to eat taros and to make it. They could start to plant watermelons after the visit from town. She was also going to ask Ding Erju and others to plant some watermelons at the Zhang village this year. Chapter 596. Invitation. Xiao Xian did not want Shao Yunduan to tag along, but Shao Yunduan wasn't assured that she should face it alone. He spared some time to keep her company. Shao Sanlang and Yang Xiaoni followed up after getting the approval of Ms. Fong, since they were done with their work. They were greedy for the food in the town. Xiao Xian cooked well, but there were many interesting things to eat in the town as well. Foodies never turned away any opportunity to eat. So, the brothers and sisters, 6 people all together, went into the town together. The donkey cart was not enough to hold them all, due to the people on it and the honey. Shao Sanling hired the bull cart to carry the honey, and rode it with Yang Xiaoni. Manager Qin had been missing them after not seeing them for a long time, and mentioned this when they reached Ming Rintang. The honey which Xiao Xian offered was so good that there were no impurities inside. It was of a great quality. Manager Qin bought all the 130 kilograms of honey they had brought, and they only had 15 kilograms left for their own use. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan separated from the others after this, and decided to meet again at Manager Qin's place in the afternoon. The couple went to find the land agent. The land agent felt very guilty about what happened to them at the Zhang village. Hearing that they were going to buy more land, he promised that he was going to make sure that all went well this time around. Ding Zhao was not the land officer for the village, but someone from the Shao family, so they could easily get the barren land, which Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were not worried about. 100 mu sounded like a large area, but the slope did not seem like a big place visually. They could plant the cassavas on the slope, which fitted the geography well. They decided to buy something on the street when they ran into the wagon from the Qiao mansion. It was Madame Qiao's man-made, and she stopped when she saw Liao Xian and Shao Yunduan. She had the wagon pulled over and called out their names. "Second miss," and "Second young master, what a coincidence. Old master and Madame Qiao were just about to invite you home. Come with me, please." Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan exchanged a look and were taken aback. This was not a coincidence. If they had not run into the woman, she would be heading towards Shouting Village to find them. That would have been horrible. The big house was not as magnificent as that in the town, but for villagers, it was already huge. If Madame Qiao learned about that, it would be bad. But why were they being invited to the mansion? Xiao Xian smiled. "Do you know what they want me for?" Annie Ling smiled. "I'm not sure. You will know when you reach there. Come in, please." Qiao Xian had foreseen that Annie Ling would not tell them anything, but she could tell that it was not something good. You can go first and inform them. I will be there with my husband. Annie Ling answered happily, since she had not wanted to share the wagon with them anyways. Please, second miss and second young master, don't make old master and Madame Qiao wait for long. Sure. Annie Ling said no more and asked the coachman to head back to the mansion. Chapter 597. Sharing information. Annie Ling did not believe that the couple would dare turn her down. In fact, she was right. The couple exchanged a look between themselves. The look spoke louder than any words. It must be because of the Zhao family. Officer Qiao had already given up on his daughter and the poor countryside son-in-law. They had no interest in them at all. Same went for Madame Qiao. Unless there were other reasons. They must have heard about the Zhang village from the Zhao family, or even about Yuezheng Shao. That was why they needed to ask the couple what was going on. Old Master Zhao was a very stingy and narrow-minded person. Yuezheng Shao's appearance had suppressed him, but he could have sold them out to Officer Qiao. In fact, they made a mistake thinking Old Master Zhao had done this. It was Zhao Ming who revealed it. But for Zhao Ming's mother, who had been sick a while ago, County Magistrate Qiao would have summoned them a few days earlier. Anyway, let's see what is going on. First of all, we need to decide upon what we're going to say. Shao Yunduan answered and consoled her. Don't worry. We can always head to the province for a few days. Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao would not be able to do anything to them when they were in the province, which was very far away. Also, Yuezheng Shao and Xiejingrong would be of help if they needed it. They could repay the favor in the future if they took one now. They were just unlucky enough to have run into a shameless couple like County Magistrate Qiao and his wife. Qiao Xin agreed. She was much calmer now and nodded with a smile. This is enough. We have nothing to worry about now. The couple sorted through the whole thing about the Zhang village and decided to make it look like it was Yuezheng Shao's business. They bore all of these points in mind. After this, they would write a letter to Yuezheng Shao and ask him to handle it accordingly. In this way, Officer Qiao would not have any way to find evidence to the contrary. They headed to the mansion after they reached an agreement. They were not delayed by too long on the way. The longer they lingered, the more angry the people waiting would become. There was no need to irritate them now. In the hall of the Qiao mansion, Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan walked in and sensed the seriousness floating in the air. Madame Qiao and County Magistrate Qiao cast a sharp look at them. Xiao Wei was present there too. She screamed, "How dare you two?" Concubine Du and Xiao Ko were not present. They were not qualified enough to hear the interrogation. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were startled and turned to the main seat in confusion. Greetings, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Greetings, father and mother. The couple stepped forward and greeted them calmly. Madame Qiao sneered. Xiao Wei interrogated again. How did you get in touch with the Yuezheng family? When did that happen? How dare you conceal that from us? Bah! Officer Qiao sounded furious, asking coldly. Did you hear what Wei said? Spill it now. Shao Yunduan was startled, as if he had no idea what made the Qiao family so angry. He replied calmly. Father-in-law, that happened last year. We were working in the mountains when we ran into some wild watermelons, so we picked them. What? Watermelons? Xiao Wei shouted. She felt even more annoyed. That was what she had been dreaming about since last year, and she wished to have a lot of them. But she failed to eat any, and that made her so uncomfortable in the past summer. But Xiao Xian and this man found watermelons. Chapter 598. Belief. Both Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao became annoyed as well. Yeah. Shao Yunduan was confused. He sounded quite normal and reacted to them in a confused manner which surprised them. We picked many watermelons to take home and happened to run into young Master Yuezheng and young Master Xie. Young Master Yuezheng was very interested in the watermelons, so he bought them all right away. He gave us some extra money as well. They asked where we found them. That was how we befriended each other. Later, young Master Yuezheng decided to open tea fields at the Zhang village, saying that the mountains are very good and the soil is rich, so he bought many fields at the Zhang village when someone was selling the paddy fields. He bought them all and hired us to take care of them, because he was too far away to take care of them. Officer Qiao's face stiffened. Why you? Shao Yunduan looked very calm and thought for a while in a leisurely manner. Elle asked young Master Yuezheng the reason as well. I'm not experienced, right? I may ruin things. But young Master Yuezheng said that I was the best candidate for the job, so I accepted it. Also, I can earn 2 liang a month, which is a great deal. Thus, I signed the contract. Qiao Xian had her head lowered and was almost ready to burst out with laughter. Her husband sounded really excited and proud as he mentioned the income of 2 liang. It all sounded so real. They had more than 120,000 liang in cash currently, and their properties would be worth more than 20,000 liang. They were constantly generating money from lipsticks, and soon they would start getting profits from tea bricks and bean products, as well as the dessert stores that would be launched soon. Her husband did not look like a liar when he spoke with so much conviction and vigor. It was so funny. She would have absolutely trusted his words if she had not known the truth. She simply decided to hide herself next to this big actor husband of hers. Officer Qiao and his family bought his story, and they all looked very disdainful. Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei were also thinking that this man was so shallow-minded to be this happy at being paid 2 liang a month. Officer Qiao was also very disappointed and angry, feeling that he had missed the best time to establish a relationship with the Yuezheng family. How stupid was that? Maybe this man did not even know what the Yuezheng family was like in the province. You are telling the truth. Of course. I am not bold enough to lie to you, Officer Father-in-law. I don't think you do. If I find otherwise, I will punish you. Officer Qiao sounded fierce and snapped at Shao Yunduan. Why didn't you tell us about this important thing? I am your father-in-law, Officer Qiao. That was the most annoying part. Shao Yunduan showed a very strange expression. He was startled and said, "Elle didn't think that this was an important thing, Officer Father-in-law. You are busy with so many issues, and I didn't realize that you would be interested in a matter that brings in 2 liang a month. I would have told you had I known about this. What 2 liang?" Officer Qiao snapped. "Elle don't care about the 2 liang I'm talking about." Officer Qiao was so angry that he could not say anything further. Chapter 599. Stuck with words, Officer Qiao leveled a disdainful look at Shao Yunduan. Stupid, annoying, and narrow-minded man. He would never advance any further in his life. 2 liang was nothing. He did not give a damn about the money. He cared about the connection with young Master Yuezheng and the Yuezheng family from the province. That was the Yuezheng family from the province. They had such a huge business, even spread across the northwest, and they were in touch with the capital as well. They might not be as good as the Xie family, but they could bring them great benefits if they built a friendship with each other. He needed money to get himself back to the capital. This stupid man did not know anything about the Yuezheng family. He had no idea what he had missed. If young Master Yuezheng drops by next time, one should be informed directly, understood? Yes, Officer Father-in-law. Officer Qiao frowned, thinking that this title felt so annoying. But this low-class countryside man was his son-in-law, and he could not be stopped from calling him father-in-law. Officer Qiao felt even worse. You remember the young master next to young Master Yuezheng? Yuezheng Shao was always together with Xie Jingrong, which was a fact, and they knew that well. Shao Yunduan nodded. Yes, a very noble-looking and handsome young master, but he doesn't like to talk much. Officer Qiao snorted. That was young Master Xie, the lineal eldest grandson of the real noble family. It was enough that he was seen by Shao Yunduan. Officer Qiao thought to himself, he would never talk with someone like you, stupid son-in-law. Shao Yunduan was very good at reading Officer Qiao's mind. So, Officer Qiao did not doubt what he said. He opened his mouth and closed again. He was not going to tell Shao Yunduan who young Master Xie was. He did not deserve that. What was the point of telling him who young Master Xie was? Young Master Xie would not even lay his eyes on him or befriend him. If Officer Qiao knew that young Master Xie had given Shao Yunduan all the excellent sample texts and books and taken him to the high-profile gathering held for the literati, and even expressed that he wanted to help Shao Yunduan's younger brother Qi, Officer Qiao would probably vomit out blood. Officer Qiao said, "Anyway, they are all noble people. You have to inform me when you meet again. Be careful not to offend them. Don't be greedy so as to take advantage of them. Understood?" "Yes, Officer Father-in-law." Officer Qiao took a deep breath and was in a better mood. But after a moment, he felt annoyed again when he thought of what he had missed. This son-in-law of his was totally useless. Qiao Wei clenched her teeth. "You talked about watermelons?" Madame Qiao was upset too, and threw a displeased look at the couple. Shao Yunduan showed a confused look and nodded. "Yeah, why didn't you deliver those watermelons to us?" Qiao Wei had been holding back this question for so long. She did not dare disturb her father when he was discussing serious business. When her father was finally done, she burst out. Shao Yunduan still looked confused, asking hesitantly, "Those are just some wild-growing fruits from the fields and can't be used as a present. We did not dare give them out as presents to you. Do you like them? How unfortunate." Shao Yunduan looked as if he really thought it was unfortunate. Qiao Wei was totally gagged with anger. Chapter 600. Disrespect to parents. She could not just say that she wanted it. That would make her look greedy for things from the countryside. Madame Qiao answered instead of her. "Watermelons are the best fruits to drive away thirst in summer, and they can't be found anywhere. You don't know about this, but Xian, you should know it, right?" They just did not know how to respect parents. How heartless they were. Officer Qiao snorted and turned to look at Xiao Xian in displeasure. Xiao Xian looked very weak as she looked up at them three, replying in a small voice. "Oh, I didn't know." Madame Qiao was startled and thought of how Xiao Xian never got to eat watermelons. Xiao Xian was always very quiet, and she never went out of the yard. So, it was reasonable that she did not know about it. Qiao Wei snorted. "Now you know what they are. If you find them henceforth, you should give them to us." Xiao Xian nodded anxiously. "Elle will bear that in mind." Shao Yunduan added his words as well. "You like watermelons. I will try to find them this year." "Ah, I don't remember where I found them last year." Officer Qiao's family had a bad look on their faces. The couple was so annoying. Officer Qiao asked more about the tea fields and other business, but Shao Yunduan displayed limited knowledge. Officer Qiao believed his words completely. Young Master Yuezheng had just asked him to take care of the fields, and he did not need to do anything else. He should have no knowledge of anything. Since the properties weren't theirs, Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao lost interest, but stressed to them that they should report to them when young Master Yuezheng came over next time around. Then, they let them leave. Xiao Xian felt that her throat was parched when they left. They had not even had a sip of water after they walked into the mansion. But Xiao Xian was not angry. She regarded the Qiao family as strangers, and she was not going to change her opinion. "Are you thirsty, darling? Let's drink some tea at the tea house." "Okay, let's go and drink some tea and then go home." They smiled at each other. It cost dozens of won in the tea house. Shao Yunduan earned 2 liang a month, so they could afford the visit to the tea house. This matter was handled well, but they were going to a letter to Yuezheng Shao to explain the matter. Yuezheng Shao needed to be careful about sending his men in the future. But they were not going to be like this for long. When Shao Yunduan became the recommended man and went further up the next level, the Qiao family would not be able to control him. It was already very lucky for them to live to the present time. If the Qiao family learned the truth, they might have a different reaction. After the tea house, they went back to the clinic. The family gathered there and bought some fresh meat before heading home together. They were startled today, so they needed to eat something nice to soothe their nerves. Fresh pork belly was cooked and steamed. Half of the pork ribs were roasted with fresh bamboo shoots, and half of them were made into a sweet and sour dish. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian did not tell anyone in the family about the matter at her natal family. The following day, Xiao Xian started to plant watermelons. Unfortunately, due to what happened the day before, she could not plant watermelons in Zhang village. She did not want to cause any further trouble. Chapter 601. Truth. She would just ignore her father's request about sending over watermelons. They were not going to give any to them. After Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan left the mansion, Officer Qiao went back to the study. Qiao Wei was very angry and could not help but complain about Qiao Xian for being bold. She would only feel happy if Qiao Xian lived a terrible life. But her husband got in touch with the young master from the Yuezheng family. Moreover, he became a director for his fields. Also, they earned 2 liang a month. 2 liang was her pocket money as the daughter of a county magistrate. Hence, in her eyes, Qiao Xian's life had been greatly improved. More importantly, they revealed nothing about it to the family. Even though they might not know what the Yuezheng family was like, they should reveal the matter to the family, right? Mom, Qiao Ko likes talking nonsense, but I believe her in one thing. Qiao Xian is very honest on the surface, but she has all kinds of tricks going on in her mind. I don't think that this thing is as simple as they claimed. They may not be telling the truth. Madame Qiao frowned. She did not think that Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan would dare to make up stories. Qiao Xian grew up under her watch, and she knew exactly what she was like. But Qiao Ko must have stepped into that and made Qiao Xian a tricky one. Your dad has already taught her a lesson, and you should leave this issue here. That man wouldn't lie because he doesn't dare to. Madame Qiao tried to console Qiao Wei. Qiao Wei was not convinced and kept feeling that something was wrong. A few days later, Zhao Ming came and visited Qiao Wei, who started cribbing to her. Zhao Ming was startled. She was here to visit Qiao Wei because she thought that Qiao Wei would be very glad and thank her for finding some bad things about the sister she hated. But she herself had not even figured things out clearly. Zhao Ming felt very annoyed. She could not blame Qiao Wei for this. So, she made up her mind and wanted to get some information about Qiao Xian and the Shao family just to prove that she was right. Zhao Ming came to her second brother and had a chat with him. She mentioned Shao Liulang and tried to get some information about the Shao family. Shao Liulang should know a lot of things about the internal matters of the house. The eyes of that stupid man brightened whenever he saw her. Zhao Ming could get anything out of Shao Liulang's mouth. If she asked, Shao Liulang would tell her for sure. She was confident about that. When Zhao Guanhua heard about the Shao family, he could not help but think of young Xiani's beautiful face. He could not even remember what his sister asked. The 2 siblings talked with each other happily, since they were talking about the same family. Zhao Ming knew that the college was closed at the moment for holidays and would not open until 1 month later. So, she dropped the idea and decided to wait until Shao Liulang returned, so that she could find an opportunity to talk to him. The Yin family's workshop was soon ready, and the opening day was decided upon. Chapter 602. Officer Qiao's plan. The Yin family decided to keep yubas and tofu cream skin as the main products, dried tofu next and puffs. They had some tofu because they had no time to travel to sell them. So, they decided to sell just a few. It was very lively on the opening day. The Yin family had been running business for years, and they had many good friends and clients. Everyone was willing to be present on the occasion. The Yin family had already released the news that someone from the Yuezheng family would be present, and the Yuezheng family was very interested in the bean products and had already booked a large patch of it. So, even more people were willing to join the ceremony because they wanted to have a relationship with the Yuezheng family. The Yuezheng family was one of the top business families in the province. Even a small portion of their share would feed the minor business people for their life. Officer Qiao learned about the arrival of the Yuezheng family. He could not help but pay attention to the Yin family. His strategist found out that the daughter of the Yin family was married to Shao Yunduan's cousin, so the Yin family was actually a little related to his own family. Officer Qiao felt very complicated in his heart. On the opening day, Officer Qiao asked his strategist to check out the show without exposing himself. He wanted to try and befriend the person from the Yuezheng family, because he was sure that Yuezheng Shao would not come to the event personally. Otherwise, the Yin family would tell the public that it was Yuezheng Shao who was present. If it was the young master of Yuezheng who came over, Officer Qiao and the strategist would show up and even ask him to join them at the mansion for accommodation and treat them to dinner. If it was just a manager, Officer Qiao would not demean himself to suck up to him. Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian would not have shown up on this day. But since Shao Yunduan revealed that he was related to Yuezheng Shao in some way, he would have to be present at the workshop of the Yin family who was also related to Yuezheng Shao in a way now. So, the couple decided to let Shao Yunduan be present. He just needed to show his face there. Officer Qiao would believe that Shao Yunduan was just showing up for Yuezheng Shao's sake. The others who knew Shao Yunduan and were aware that the Shao family and the Yin family were relatives would take him as a relative representative. The interesting part was that the whole second section of the family was present, including Ms. Niu. In fact, neither Ms. Yin nor the Yin family wanted to have so many people from the Shao family to be present. Shao Xilang and Ms. Yin were enough, along with second uncle plus one more at most. But Ms. Niu took NIS Zhang's advice and wanted to take a look at it too. Ms. Zhang said to Shao Erlang that she wanted to go there as well. Ms. Yin did not like it, but had to accept their proposal. So, the entire second section of the family went there. Ms. Yin felt so annoyed. She had to agree to the request and felt sorry for the first section of the family. It was how it felt when those you did not like stuck to you all the time. But for a powerful family, and her own idea of living apart in the near future, she would feel depressed living such a life. Chapter 603. Opening day. On this very day, the second section of the family was present. They had wanted to borrow the donkey cart from the first section of the family, but Ms. Yin vetoed that down. She said that there should be no one who would take care of it, and the first section of the family would need it too. Ms. Niu and second uncle were in a good mood and did not disagree with Ms. Yin. They did not want to argue with her at the moment. So, she did not say anything anymore. Ms. Zhang sneered. "You are so nice to the first section of the family." Ms. Yin felt disgusted and immediately countered. "They are our eldest aunt and eldest uncle, and they have helped us so much in the past. Is it so wrong that I am nice to them? Also, I just don't want to bother them again. Is that being nice to them? That sounds so embarrassing." Ms. Zhang got so angry that she turned around sullenly. The Yin family accepted Qiao, Xian's suggestion, and finally built the workshop on the flat, barren field which was spread across 20 mu. They hired people to dig and fill up the land, and it was very smooth, occupying 5 or 6 mu of the total land. When the business picked up and money was sufficient, they could expand the occupied land. The ceremony was being held at the workshop, and the tools were locked in the room, completely isolated from the others. For the occasion, sweets such as candy and peanuts were distributed, and gifts from everyone were accepted as congratulations and greetings. The guests were invited to sit at home for a meal. The Yin family had a good reputation, and many people were present. 8 tables were laid, and the second section of the family took up half of the table. The cook from a village was hired to make the dishes. Second uncle and Ms. Niu met Shao Yunduan too. They were both very proud. They showed off in front of Shao Yunduan as if they were the owner of the workshop. Shao Yunduan ignored Thor's behavior and simply agreed to whatever they said. He did not want to cause any trouble. He had some shares in the workshop as well. What was the point of arguing with them? So, Ms. Niu and second uncle became even prouder, as if the whole family had flown away already. More importantly, Ms. Niu even asked Shao Yunduan how much money he gave as a gift. "You are a nephew and a learned scholar. You are rich, so you need to give them a big amount, right?" Shao Yunduan nodded. "Yeah." Ms. Niu looked interested. "How much?" Shao Yunduan answered. "My mom gave the gift. I have no idea." "Ms. Niu, how disappointing." Ms. Fong was stingy, and she could not have given much. In fact, Shao Yunduan gave them 2 liang as a gift, which was very high. At the lunch, Old Master invited second uncle, Shao Yunduan, and Shao Xilang to the main table and asked his 2 sons, wife and daughter-in-laws to receive other guests. Chapter 604. Lecture in IS. Niu felt displeased as well. "Yeah, that seems so strange. People would surely think that my son isn't as good as others." Ms. Zhang could not help frowning. She felt that too, but she did not want to speak it out loud. Mrs. Yin could not help but sneer inwardly. What on earth was wrong with this mother-in-law and daughter-in-law? Who were they to come to the Yin family and teach them what to do? Especially Ms. Zhang. Her daughter had complained enough about her. Mrs. Yin was not afraid that this mother and daughter-in-law would set up her daughter after this. Her daughter was not someone who would bear the misery. If she ran into a problem, the Yin family would definitely stand up for her. Shao Erlang and Shao Xilang would never end up working in the Yin family, and they could even get a divorce. Mrs. Yin smiled brightly. She said softly, "That won't work. Shao Wulong is the cultivated talent, and my husband pays attention to scholars. Also, Shao Wulong has to be at the main table. As for Erlang, we are related, so we don't have to care much about this. He takes up an empty place, and that is not suitable. Anyone who dares to call it a bad thing, I will drive that person out. You can just tell me if anyone dares to talk about it. That kind of woman should not be kept here. We don't need friends like them." Nis. Zhang opened her mouth slightly and felt embarrassed. She felt as if Mrs. Yin was talking about her. Ms. Niu was not as sensitive as Mrs. Yin. She felt a little embarrassed, but laughed. "You are right. That sounds reasonable. Just be ready to eat. Don't worry. No one will look down at your son." Mrs. Yin left with a smile after a few sweet words. Ms. Zhang did not dare to say anything more. She knew that Mrs. Yin was not someone to be offended. In fact, no one from the Yin family was to be offended. She felt very jealous. She could not override her sister-in-law, instead got overwhelmed by her. After the banquet, the guests left. The Shao family could not leave right away and stayed until the end. Ms. Zhang was very jealous, but seeing this workshop, she tried to tell Ms. Niu to coax the Yin family so that her husband could come and earn some money here as well. Ms. Niu agreed with her. When she was saying goodbye to the Yin family, she mentioned this to them. Ms. Yin almost wanted to slap hard across Ms. Zhang's face. Her mother-in-law was really shameless. So was the sister-in-law. Mrs. Yin sneered in her heart, but did not say a thing. Mr. Yin was silent for a while and smiled after a pause. "Don't worry. We will tell you if we need more people for my daughter's sake." He still did not tell her an exact date. Ms. Niu was about to say something more when Shao Yunduan coughed. "Second uncle and second aunt-in-law, you want to go home on our donkey cart? I am leaving now." Chapter 605, Over the Top a Mess. Yin smiled. "That's good. Thanks, cousin. What are you worried about, mother-in-law, now that my dad has promised you? You trust him, don't you?" Ms. Niu, of course, had to say yes. She smiled. "Of course, yes, of course." Mrs. Yin smiled. "Good that you trust us. We take care of our family. Don't worry, and stay away from those who try to turn you against us all the time." Ms. Zhang looked straight at Mrs. Yin, and she felt sharpness hitting her head when she saw Mrs. Yan's cold look. The Yin family was just way over the top. Ms. Niu also felt a little guilty, denying it quickly. No, of course not. That won't happen." Mrs. Yin laughed loudly. "Yeah, I was just saying that. Don't think much about it." "I want, of course not." After this rebuttal, Ms. Niu and second uncle had no way to say anything further on the topic. They did not dare to think that the Yin family was being oppressive. After all, they ran the workshop, and the Yin family was far richer than their own family. Also, their sons were more successful than her own. The Yin family was helping them, so they had to be thankful for it. They would not dare to make the Yin family angry, considering that they were very aggressive and hot-tempered. Therefore, Ms. Niu and second uncle only dared to talk loud at home. Soon the second section of the family went on to the donkey cart, except for Shao Xilang, who stayed back and helped. Even Ms. Yin followed them home first. Ms. Yin had intended to stay to keep her mother company, but she was worried that Ms. Zhang would again whisper something to their mother-in-law, so she decided to go back. She would come back to her mother whenever she felt like it. The whole gang went on together. Ms. Niu and second uncle were quite happy. They had watched the ceremony and were very proud that they could be part of it. Ms. Yin let out a sigh of relief seeing them talk happily. Only Ms. Zhang threw a distressed look at her husband. Shao Erlang was their elder son, and her in-laws did not even care about him. They went to flatter Shao Xilang instead. The Yin family was even flattering Shao Yunduan, someone from the first section of the family. So, no one respected her husband. What position did they have at home? Ms. Yin was going to bully her to death. Her husband was useless as well. He did not bother to step forward to help himself. That was why he was always bullied. Back at the village, when the cart had just been pulled over, Ms. Zhang got so annoyed that she could not help but feel like doing something bad. She reached out and gave Ms. Yin, who was getting off the cart, a push. Ms. Yin let out a scream and staggered forward, almost tripping herself over. Her heart throbbed as she turned to Ms. Zhang in anger. Both Ms. Niu and second uncle were startled. "Are you okay?" Ms. Zhang felt very happy, but showed an apologetic smile. "Sorry, fourth sister-in-law. Your niece and nephew pushed you accidentally, but you are fine." Ms. Yin pursed her lips and slapped right across Ms. Zhang's face. That loud noise shocked everyone. "Stop pretending." Ms. Yin pointed at Ms. Zhang with a sneer. "It was not the kids who pushed me. It was you. You think I couldn't feel it? I don't accept this stupid excuse." Chapter 606. Unconvinced, you can confront me openly. What is the point of playing tricks behind someone's back? If you don't like me, we can live separately. I won't stand in your way, okay? Angry and irritated, Ms. Zhang felt the pain on her swollen cheek. Covering up her cheek with her palm, she burst into tears. "I didn't. You are accusing me of something I didn't do. Oh God, you hit me. I am your sister-in-law. What rules are you following? One, know you can bully me because your family has money and you have never liked me. But you can't accuse me of wrongdoings. Oh my God, one gave birth to children for the Shao family and one work all the time. In return, is this all I can get? Even you dare to hit me. Stop it now." Ms. Niu got so angry and dragged Ms. Yin into the yard, bellowing at Ms. Zhang to follow in. They could not just keep talking outside, else they were giving the village a free show. Ms. Zhang did not want to go in, and she bellowed even more loudly. Ms. Yin walked into the yard and threw her cold look. Xiaoji got frightened and dashed off. Ms. Niu could not get her in alone. She snapped at Shao Erlang. "Are you dead? Drag her in. We will talk when we are inside." Only then did Shao Erlang recover and walk forward. The mother and the son dragged Ms. Zhang into the yard and shut the door. Shao Yinwan was speechless standing outside. He shook his head and went back home. There was going to be a lively show at the second section of the family. The second cousin-in-law was a very narrow-minded person, and she liked to dig into small things. She was going to hate the couple soon. But the Yin family was more powerful, and the fourth cousin-in-law behaved better than she did, enjoying a favorable position in the second section of the family. So, even if the slap never happened, she would not be hanging out with her sister-in-law anyway. The Yin family was not something to be bullied. Fourth sister-in-law might not be brought down by Ms. Zhang. Ms. Zhang was dragged into the yard by Ms. Niu and Shao Erlang, and she struggled hard because of the pain. She kept banging against Shao Erlang, crying and hitting him. "You useless thing. You're bullying me together with them. I want to die. Just stop it." Ms. Niu got angry as she saw how she hit her son. She dragged her away and snapped. "How dare you cry like this? Why did you push Ms. Yin? You dare blame others for your wrongdoings?" "I didn't push her," Ms. Zhang screamed and retorted. "You believe everything she said? You are so biased." Then she started to cry again. "It is my fault, right? My family can't do anything for me, and you all look down at me. Oh my, I have such a terribleness." Niu got even more annoyed. "How unreasonable. You dare to mention your family? You have sneaked out so many things from our home to yours, and I should have made my son give you a divorce. How dare you mention your family?" Ms. Zhang sneered in return. "You wanted to do that ages ago, didn't you? But your grandson can't live without a mother, and hence, you have to keep me because of this reason." Ms. Niu was boiling. "So you go on behaving like this because you have a son? Try me. I could still throw you out. How dare you rebel?" Chapter 607. No apology. Shao Erlang thought that his mother was serious about it. He panicked. "Mom, don't. Shut up, you useless thing." Ms. Niu snapped. "NIS." Zhang felt proud and cried loudly, wanting Ms. Yin to kowtow to her and make apologies. "She accused me of doing something one didn't actually do, and she even hit me. She should kowtow to me. If not, I could go to the Yin family to ask them how they taught their daughter." Ms. Yin watched her performance coldly and replied, "Elle accused you of the wrong thing? Kowtow to you? Huh. Don't you feel guilty saying that? I can swear on my life and my parents' lives that I am not lying. It was you who pushed me from behind. Dare you swear on your brother's life? Do you dare do that? If you dare, you can go to my parents and face them." Ms. Zhang screamed. "I'll then do that. Why should one lie about it? And leave aside my brother's life? That is useless. You don't dare to, do you? You are being unreasonable. Okay, just drop it. We are a family, and we see each other every day. What are you arguing with each other for? We can't just live on like this," second uncle snapped as he looked at Ms. Yin and Ms. Zhang. "You are arguing over small things. Ms. Yin, you should not have hit her, and Ms. Zhang, you should not have pushed her. Ms. Yin, apologize to Ms. Zhang, and we are done. No more discussion on this topic." Ms. Neo snorted. "Yeah." Ms. Yin and Ms. Zhang glared at each other and felt unconvinced. Neither of them was satisfied. But Ms. Zhang was the one who did it, so she felt very guilty and was worried that Ms. Yin would continue to push forward the whole thing, so she might have to bear the anger of being slapped. She could not just make Ms. Yin retreat by crying. She had the chance to set her up in the future. Ms. Yin was not going to apologize. "Dad, I never did anything wrong. Why should I make an apology? Second sister-in-law pushed me so hard that one almost tripped. She should apologize to me first. She started it. Elle didn't do that on purpose, but you did it anyway. Shut it." Second uncle felt humiliated and furious. "Ms. Yin, I am ordering you as a parent. How can you not accept it?" Ms. Yin felt very sad. She cried, "I am not accepting it because we need to be reasonable. I'm not apologizing if I am not wrong." She glanced at Ms. Zhang. "I am not going to apologize, and I have a few words to share with my second sister-in-law. Never ever play any tricks in front of me, or would try to set me up. Do you think that only you know how to play tricks? You know pretty well what you did in the past. I have been ignoring that till now. But henceforth, I will not forgive you." Ms. Yin said so and turned around, heading back to her room, leaving the rest of the family staring at each other. Ms. Zhang got so annoyed that her face turned green. She accused me of wrongdoing and then left because she was feeling guilty. Second uncle could not run after his daughter-in-law to order her again. But Ms. Yin did humiliate him, and he felt annoyed. So he left as well with a scowling face. Chapter 608, Terrible Fade Mess. Neo was very confused, but she said nothing as she glanced at Ms. Zhang. She knew pretty well what Ms. Zhang was like. Ms. Yin might be telling the truth, but Ms. Neo did not want to comment on that without proof. Also, most sisters-in-law never got along well. It was very normal that they did not like each other. She was the mother-in-law, and her job was to keep them under control. She did not care what they were doing privately as long as that did not affect the whole family. Also, don't mess up with your sister-in-law. You should be careful. Why did you push Ms. Yin? Ms. Yin can get annoyed too. Be careful in the future. Ms. Zhang was shocked. I am warning you. If you still want your husband to find work in the Yin family, you should behave better. I am telling you the truth. The Yin family has offered Liulang a good salary, and if you mess up or ruin my son's job, I will teach you a good lesson. Ms. Zhang. She rushed back to her room, with hands covering her face. She had such a terrible fate, but she really could not blame her mother-in-law for preferring the other daughter-in-law. 701 for a month and lunch included in the package was a good deal. The work wasn't heavy either. Also, whether her husband would be employed would depend on the Yin family. She had nothing to compete with her. She pushed Ms. Yin, and in return, she was slapped. In fact, even if Ms. Yin slapped her for no reason, what could she do? Could she really go to interrogate the Yin family? For the first time in life, Ms. Zhang started to get a little annoyed by her own family. She hated them for not being able to stand up for her. Shao Yinwan did not like gossip, so he didn't mention anything when he returned home. As the days grew warmer, Qiao Xian led the team and cultivated the watermelons. When the trees grew to 2 inches tall, they could do the transplantation. They could also harvest another batch of mushrooms, wooden ears, and snow fungus. The team fixed everything in half a day. The roses in the flower fields were blooming as well. They were growing very well, and after the spring plow, the season for the biggest blooming would come. They had already finished the first batch of lipsticks, including the 10 sets of spring limited versions, each of which included 3 lipsticks. The colors included that of peach, apricot, and rose, beautiful and tender. When put in the luxurious tubes, they looked really classy and high profile. Everyone would definitely love them, though not everyone would be able to afford these lipsticks. Yuezheng Shao soon sent his men to fetch the first batch. The money was sent along as well. 800 ordinary lipsticks and 30 of the limited version. Xian sold them at 5 liang for one, so they had 2,000 liang in total. Yuezheng Shao was going to sell the limited version at 3,000 liang for one, but the cost for the tubes and workmanship was already 1,200 liang. Hence, Xian received 800 liang for one, which made it 24,000 liang for 30 pieces. Xian had no objections to that. After all, luxurious goods need to look good and attractive, and they should be sold in a special way. Yuezheng Shao was running the business, and all she needed was to collect the cash peacefully. She would receive 26,000 liang in total after selling out this batch of goods, which was more than what she had in her hands altogether. She had made a huge fortune this time around. Chapter 609. Rich days, she could even share hundreds of liang with the other family members. Even then, she would still have enough savings. Yuezheng Shao did not mix the personal relationship with profit sharing. That was what a businessman should do. In this way would the cooperation continue in a smooth way over a long period of time. Xian was very satisfied. Yuezheng Shao's men also told her that Yuezheng Shao had already found 7 medium-sized places suitable for being the dessert stores in the province. He even had the decorations and furniture ready based on her requirements. By the time it was summer, they could open 2 stores for trial. Xian and Yuezheng Shao had 40% each, while Xie had 20% share in the dessert stores. If the business went well, they would bring in a lot of money. Desserts were small in portion and the cost was low. When made in an exquisite way, they could become very popular. Once the cassavas were ready, they could harvest them if the jealous attraction ran out. Seedling process started soon after Yuezheng Shao's men fetched the lipsticks. Yuba's dried tofu, tofu cream skin, and puffs were all available in the market after the opening at the Yin family. The business was very lively due to the uniqueness. The workshop was very busy from day to night. They managed to earn hundreds of liang within 1 month as profit. The Yin family used to earn only 40 or 50 liang of profit after selling tofu for 1 year in the past. The Yin family was highly motivated and decided to buy a few more laborers to expand the production scale after the spring plow. Those bean products could be easily duplicated, so they needed to keep the secret well enough. Also, the Yin family would only hire those people who went through some simple procedures, in case they learned and opened stores themselves. They had to act carefully. Ms. Yin was very happy to hear that on her trip back to her mother's home, she had already earned back the cost she paid, and starting from the next month, she was going to earn profits. If she could get 7 to 10 liang a month, then she should earn hundreds of liang a year. That would ensure her a very wealthy life in the future. While she thought about this, she did not even bother to speak with Ms. Zhang. What was the point of arguing with people like her? Ms. Yin told Xian about this. Xian was glad too. It was a great start. The Yin family needed to ensure that the quality remained the same whilst the quantity arose. In this way, they could take up the market share so that the Yin family could stay firm on the ground even if there were a few competitors in the future. The first section of the family hired people to do the spring plow, since it was heavy labor work. They had money and they could save some effort. Xian was thinking about updating the space so that she could find some instructions for building farming tools. They might not be modernized or mechanized, yet they could save some labor force because of that. The farming tools which they had were too heavy and people worked really slowly with them. After the seedling, Xian and Shao Yunduan went across the properties at the Zhang village, and Xian visited the mountains a few more times, bringing some goods from there. The days became hotter than before. It was time for them to get ready for the busiest season of lipstick making. Students from Minghua College all went back to their classes. Chapter 610. Fruit seeds in south. On this very day, Yuezheng Shao sent his men to deliver seeds from the south again. The Yuezheng family had many contacts across the land. But due to the slow transportation, they traveled very slowly all over the place. Seeds were always welcomed whenever they were delivered. This time, Xian obtained seeds of all kinds of fruits, including papaya, longan, lychee, mango, carambola, dragon fruit, jackfruit, guava, jujube, grapefruit, and oranges. Each seed was wrapped in a yellow paper with the fruit's name written on it. Some were divided into different categories, such as lychees, which were divided into 4 categories, whilst mangoes into 9. Even bananas, sugarcane, and pineapples, which were not propagated by seeds, have been brought in large quantities. But due to the long distance and improper care, they become listless and lifeless, and several of them had died. Yet as long as there was even one sample left, Xian was happy to receive it. She was delighted beyond words. When the men from the Yuezheng family were gone, she asked Tao, and Xunyu, as well as other maids, to help with the planting of bananas and sugarcane. They would put the seeds close to the sweet potato field for later transplantation. Tao and the others didn't know bananas and sugarcane, but they believed in Xian. Since she said that these were all fruits, they believed that these would be fruit trees. If they were planted, they would reap a lot of delicious fruits, so they all got excited. They were all amused by the strange-looking plants. They looked so weird. Everyone could not help but feel excited. What would those trees grow into? They really looked forward to seeing the results. After planting the fruits, they brought a basket and picked a lot of loquats, red bay berries, and plums to take them back to eat. The fruits were very large in quantity and sweet. They believed that it was because of the spring which cultivated the land, plus the daily care, of course. It was because of these reasons that the fruits grew so well. They were going to have many fresh fruits available starting from now all the way to the winter. When Xian was alone, she could not wait but to exert her superpower. She wanted to revive the dead plants which had been sent by Yuezheng Shao. They instantly became lively and full of energy. Some even had a few tender leaves growing out of them. Xian was really pleased. She touched the leaves and said carefully, "You have to grow and flourish. Be sure to bloom and bear fruits." She was not worried about sugar canes, which would grow properly due to her superpower. If they were not cared for, their texture, sweetness, size, and quality could be affected. They would grow to be weak and small, not very sweet and also stiff. But she had her superpower, which could improve the fruits in every single way, so all the fruits would turn into the best quality ones ever seen. Chapter 6:11. Tryout. She was not sure about the bananas and pineapples. Maybe they only grew well without fruits, or the other way around, despite the superpower. Same with lychees and longans. But she was going to have a try anyway. She would see what happened to sugar canes, bananas, and pineapples. The other with seeds could not survive this year. But some hanging fruits could grow out this year. In one word, Xian watched the seedlings and trees with a look of expectation and love. Probably after a couple of years, she was going to have delicious longans, lychees, mangoes, and dragon fruits to eat. When the fruits adjusted themselves to the local environment, she could expand their growth so that people in the central land and north could be fed well. Well, in the process, she could earn some big fortune as well. On the way back home, the land officer told Xian and Shao Yunduan that they were supposed to meet Officer Qiao the next day. Xian thanked the messenger. Xian smiled bitterly, seeing how land officer looked at them enviously. What was the point of being envious? You never knew what the actual situation was. She did not want to get involved with the Qiao family if she had a choice. The following day, Xian asked Tao, Yang Xiaoni, and the others to work on the lipsticks and transplant the watermelons, while she and Shao Yunduan headed to the town. "Darling, what do you think they are up to this time?" Shao Yunduan was confused. He thought for a while and said, "They're not interested in us, but they're definitely interested in the Yuezheng family." Xian groaned annoyedly. They could go to the Yuezheng family if they want to. Shao Yunduan chuckled. Officer Qiao would very much like to meet the Yuezheng family, but the other side would not want to meet him. "Don't worry, just leave everything to me. You can remain the silent and honest concubine's daughter." Xian burst into laughter, nodding. Okay, she could definitely play this role well. Shao Yunduan sighed inwardly. It was good that Xian did not take First Madam as the godmother. Otherwise, the Qiao family would get themselves attached to the Yuezheng family by touting family relation. Madam Qiao could always take Qiao away to pay a visit, and First Madam would not be able to turn him down. The couple arrived at the mansion early in the morning. They had to behave as if they were very active, having been summoned, which should fit their personalities. Officer Qiao was very pleased seeing Xian and Shao Yunduan promptly at his doorstep whenever he summoned them. He was proud that he had seen through Xian and Shao Yunduan, who would obey him without hesitation. They were summoned for the Yuezheng family's affairs, for sure. Yunduan, you are studying, and soon you'll be taking the examination, right? You aren't a talented person, and you need to study hard rather than get distracted, or you'll have no hope at all. You don't have to be in charge of the fields and tea. From today on, I will handle that task. I will arrange my men to take it over, so you don't have to do a thing. You are not experienced anyway, right? It is settled, then. You can write a letter to young Master Yuezheng, and the strategist will tell you what to write. I will deliver that to young Master Yuezheng directly, and you can leave the rest to me. Chapter 6:12. Outsider, all right, just do as the strategist says. Shao Yunduan and Xian. Officer Qiao truly did not think that he was an outsider. Now he was putting on the air as an imposing father. He never liked Xian, nor did he think Shao Yunduan would be talented or have a promising future. That was why he made the decision directly, without caring about what Xian and Shao Yunduan thought. At this moment, Xian and Shao Yunduan were indeed in a disadvantageous position. Ding Erzhu was in charge of what was happening in the Zhang village, but he was not a very talented manager. He could deal with the villagers, but not with Officer Qiao's men. If they did have an excellent manager, Shao Yunduan could say straightforwardly that Yuezheng Shao already had manager, whilst he himself was just working sporadically with young Master Yuezheng, only to inspect the tea and the fields. In this way, he could have turned down Officer Qiao's offer. But there was no qualified manager working in the Zhang village, so Shao Yunduan could not use that excuse. If Officer Qiao sent someone to check it, things would be overturned and would make him skeptical. Shao Yunduan was silent. Officer Qiao looked annoyed as he frowned in displeasure. You don't want to? You have no time or talent for any kind of management. I am just helping. Did this man not want to accept his offer? Officer Qiao sounded as if he was granting a great favor. In fact, he needed money desperately. He had been trying his best to get back to the capital and had invested all of his savings. But they were not enough. The Qiao family from the capital said that they were in a very crucial situation and they needed to pay at least 30,000 Liulang to get through the contract to realize his goal. Otherwise, the deal would be off. Officer Qiao had turned almost mental during this period. He invested so much money in the primary stage, and if the deal was off, all of the previous investment would be gone. He could not stand that. So, he was going to gather 30,000 Liulang. He and Madame Qiao sold some stuff and collected nearly 10,000 Liulang. But he had no way to get the remaining 20,000 Liulang. The couple was really bothered by this. But Madame Qiao came up with the idea that 20,000 Liulang was nothing for the Yuezheng family. If they could get in touch with the Yuezheng family, they could borrow that amount from them. Officer Qiao was an officer, after all. That was why he decided to make this situation happen. Xian and Shao Yunduan knew nothing about this. Xian would have laughed had she heard that. 30,000 Liulang? She had 37,000 Liulang cash in her savings. No, officer father-in-law. Shao Yunduan pretended to be dumb. I can't make this decision. Young Master Yuezheng has to take this call. I can't ask young Master Yuezheng's opinion before you send someone to take over. Shao Yunduan was thinking about signing a 15-year contract with Yuezheng Shao so that they could hire a capable manager. Chapter 6:13. Nothing is free in this way. He was going to hire some manager for the tea fields as well. Uncle Erzhu could just be the minor manager. They would not be able to remain in charge of the overall situation. Yuezheng Shao could make the introduction and hire some reliable manager, whilst they would foot the bill. Officer Qiao snorted and said, "Why the trouble? You can go with the strategist, and he's going to tell you how to write the letter." Officer Qiao was panicking inside. He just could not waste any more time. He did not think that if Shao Yunduan made the recommendation to Yuezheng Shao would turn him down. His men were definitely better at managing things. Shao Yunduan could not argue back. So, he forced himself to nod, but issued a warning as well. Okay then, but I can't make the decision for young Master Yuezheng. If he doesn't want to approve of it, one won't change a thing. He liked me, so he made me the manager. Maybe because I had found some watermelons for him. There was no free lunch in the world. Yuezheng Shao hired him for some reason. Not everyone was eligible. Otherwise, he would have sent someone from his family. Why bother to get some people from Officer Qiao, even if they were suitable or reliable? The Yuezheng family never lacked such talent. Qiao Xian almost wanted to burst into laughter, but she tried to hide her expressions. Officer Qiao understood what Shao Yunduan meant. He snorted in displeasure. Write the letter, leave the rest to others. Officer Qiao seemed quite resolute. They might have an argument soon. So, he decided to drop it here. He would write the letter according to the instructions, but no matter how emotional Officer Qiao might be, Yuezheng Shao would not approve of it. Yuezheng Shao was not a stupid man. Okay. Officer Qiao seemed satisfied. He looked at Qiao Xian as if he had suddenly developed some good feelings towards her. He said quietly, "You can have lunch here on your rare trip. I will let the kitchen." He had meant to say, "We'll let the kitchen do what you like to eat," but he had no idea what Qiao Xian liked to eat. He coughed and changed the words. "I will let the kitchen prepare some more dishes." Qiao Xian did not want to stay for lunch, but she realized that Officer Qiao asked them to stay for lunch just to get close to them. Hence, she had to accept the offer in case he was suspicious about her refusal. "Thanks, father. You should stay here and wait." Officer Qiao nodded and ignored Qiao Xian after that moment. Soon, he got up and left. He was bothered by how to raise money for his career. So, he ignored Qiao Xian totally once the matter was finished. Qiao Xian could sense that he was troubled by something. So, she asked nothing more, but chuckled inwardly in her heart. He should be bothered heavily. Qiao Xian asked the maid to pass on her greetings to Madame Qiao. Since she was here, she needed to keep her manners rather than cause trouble. The maid returned fast. "Madame Qiao is busy now," she said. "You don't have to go over to greet her, Second Mississippi." That was exactly what Qiao Xian honed for. She showed a look of regret. "Okay then." The maid threw a disdainful look at her, but stayed silent. Second Miss wished to suck up to Madame Qiao. She did not deserve to meet her. During lunchtime, Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao did not show up. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan were alone. Chapter 614. Stalking Shao Liulang. The meal included 4 dishes with 1 soup. It included bean roast pork, yuba pork belly, green pepper chicken slices, scallion fried egg, and cabbage vermicelli soup. Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian were not special guests, so the dishes were not well made. But the ingredients were fresh and ecological, so the food was not that bad when cooked in a big pot. The couple left after lunch. They were going to buy some stuff in town for the rooster and muntjac that she had hunted. They decided to buy some fresh meat to take home. Originally, Qiao Xian planned to kill 2 fat hens that day to make salt-baked chicken and crispy chicken, but she could leave that for later. The 2 of them bought 2 knuckles, a piece of pork belly, 2 bones, a pair of pork belly, and a pig heart in the market. They saw fresh mutton for sale and bought a portion of lamb chops. For dinner, half of the lamb chops would be made in a sauce, and half would be stewed with fresh mushrooms. A portion of twice-cooked pork would be fried. Pork belly and pig heart would be marinated with spices and could be eaten any time during the next 2 days. The knuckles would be put next to the spring water at night to keep it cold and stewed with yam the next day. Half of it would be used to make a sweet and sour dish. The bone would be used to make porridge at noon, with various mushrooms diced, fresh small river prawns, sprinkled with a handful of shallots. It would be delicious and fragrant. When they finished buying the meat, they were about to fetch the donkey cart when they suddenly saw Liulang heading towards the tea house. Before he went in, he even adjusted his clothes and stood up straight. Then, he walked forward in confidence. Qiao Xian and Shao Yunduan exchanged a look at each other, very surprised. Who was he going to meet? So neat and happy? Want to take a look? Xian was very curious. Liulang was always arrogant. She had never seen him looking so excited and proud. Xiao thought for a while. We should go and take a look. As for this stuff, they left the meat at the pastry store where they often bought stuff from. Then, they went into the tea house. Xiao soon got to know from the waiter which room Liulang went into by giving him some money. They went into the room next to it and held their breath, eavesdropping blatantly. The soundproofing was really bad. Anyways, in this town, there were no private talks. They were here to drink tea in a silent place, not here to pry on other secrets. So, they did not care if others heard them. Hearing that it was a young woman's laughter, Xiao and Xian were both very surprised. What was going on? Soon, the woman was trying to ask Liulang about Xian and Xiao, as well as about the first section of the family. Their hearts sank, and they started to concentrate on the conversation. Xian's eyes brightened after she listened for a while. She approached Xiao. Oh, got it. That is Zhao Ming, the lady from the Zhao family, who is in a good relationship with Qiao. As Xian's warm breath floated over his ears and cheeks, Xiao could not help but blush. He felt a little distracted. He understood that he should not have this kind of reaction, so he pressed down the urge and leaned a bit backward. Are you sure? Chapter 6:15. Zhao Ming's trick. Xian did not notice what a flirtatious position they were in. She nodded and said, I am sure. I remember this voice. Zhao Ming and Xiao were good friends. So, Xian did pay attention to her at the banquet. She was not wrong about it. Xiao nodded with a small, okay sound. They were separated by a screen. They were not talking loudly, but they caught a few words, not completely clear ones though. But that was already enough for them to understand what was going on. In summary, Liulang was stupid and had no idea why he thought Zhao Ming would like him. So, Zhao Ming got on a date with him, and he tried to put on a very nice show as a gentleman, trying to win Zhao Ming's heart. But, in fact, Zhao Ming was not interested in him, and instead kept talking about Xiao, Xian, and the Zhang village. Liulang was too stupid to realize that something was wrong. He felt really excited and thought that Zhao Ming was falling for him slowly. He became increasingly happy. In order to answer her queries, he made some remarks about his relatives. He did not have much knowledge about the real situation anyways. So, when Zhao Ming could not get anything more out of him, she obviously lost interest. Soon, Zhao Ming found an excuse and left. But he kept trying to offer to escort her back. Obviously, Zhao Ming did not need his help. She teased him and went away. Xiao and Xian heard the sound of footsteps that left the place. Soon, Liulang left as well. He must be in a very good mood as he was humming all this while. What a man! Xian did not know how to complain about Liulang. He was so stupid. What was more disheartening was that he kept making up bad stories about his relatives in front of outsiders. The first section of the family helped them so much during all these years. The reason why he was able to go to school was because half of the tuition fees were paid by the first section of the family. This was interrupted after Xian came to the family. Despite so much, Liulang felt no gratitude and kept making up bad stories about the first section of the family. What a ruthless family. Xiao was silent for a while, but said eventually, if the Zhao family wants to know about the Zhang village and our fields, it should have been old Master Zhao's men who are doing the prying, not his daughter. It should be Zhao Ming's own ideas. But why? Old Master Zhao did not dare to irritate Yuezheng Shao, and he would not have insisted upon it after knowing the truth. Then, why was Zhao Ming asking about the first section of the family again? Zhao Ming and his family were not enemies, Xian sneered. Maybe Qiao told her to do so. She was Qiao's follower, but there should not be any reason for Qiao to do so. Xiao was confused. What was Qiao up to? Officer Qiao's business should not be hers, right? Xian was not worried. She was already half exposed right now, except that Officer Qiao had no idea how much they had in total. We should be cautious these days. I will tell Mom and sisters-in-law that they should be careful about people coming to the door. Those who never hang out with us and suddenly get very passionate should definitely be ignored. Chapter 616. Xiao Yunwan nodded with a smile. Okay, they could not keep any check on the Zhao family and Shao Liulang at the college. They could only work on their family in case they got disturbed. When they were sure that both Shao Liulang and Zhao Ming had left, Xiao Yunwan and Qiao Xian decided to go home together. On the way home, Xiao Yunwan said, "Darling, one have a hunch that Officer Qiao really wants to befriend the Yuezheng family, and anxiously. Did you notice that?" Qiao Xian was surprised. She thought for a while and replied, "Yeah, now that you mention it, it does seem like that." He had known about this for a while, but did nothing. Yet today, things are different. He must need money, and quickly so. That was an easy guess. The Yuezheng family was rich, and Officer Qiao needed to get to know them for money, of course. Xiao Yunduan said contemplatively, "He is working as an officer in this small county. If he needs a small amount of money, he could borrow some from the local business people. But if that is not the case, what does he need so much money for? A few hundreds and thousands of liang should not be difficult to gather, as long as they had a thick skin. He could just ask his strategist to visit some business people who will lend it to him. Any amount more than that would be difficult to obtain, though. The county was very small, and the businessmen were not very ambitious. They would not just give him so much money, since making money was never an easy thing. A few hundred liang might be really hurtful too, but then they could not get away by offering nothing. He should not have problems regarding money, if he lived normally. But if he suddenly needed a large amount of money and fell into trouble because of that, the whole thing seemed really strange. Qiao Xian was confused. She blinked her eyes. There is something weird, Xiao Yunwan thought for a while and said, maybe he needs money to buy an official position? Buying an official position? Xiao Yunwan felt that made sense. Yeah, he would need a big amount to buy an official position because of his lack of talent and achievements. It seems that he needs a lot of money, and the position isn't low. Qiao Xian believed that Xiao Yunwan was right, but her heart sank instantly. What if he does get the position? We will be crushed. Qiao Xian suddenly felt really scared. If Officer Qiao was just a county magistrate, then Xiao Yunduan would be powerful enough after becoming the advanced scholar. Officer Qiao would have to pay attention to Xiao Yunduan and try to get him to his side because he was his son-in-law. After all, by that time, Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei would not be able to do anything with their old master turning to the other side. But if Officer Qiao was promoted, then he may pay attention to Xiao Yunduan. Yet Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei would definitely try to override them as well. As long as Madame Qiao was given some benefits, people would suck up to her by turning her against her concubine daughter and son-in-law. Once Xiao Yunduan became the advanced scholar, Madame Qiao would definitely try to bring them down. Xiao Yunduan smiled and consoled his wife. Don't worry, it is not that serious. This is only our speculation. Also, even if we are right about it, things are not that easy to happen. Moreover, even if he makes it, it would still take a long while before he find his feet on the ground. By that time, it might be time for the spring examination. Chapter 617. Home, sweet home. Also, we can ask the Yuezheng family and the Xie family for help. We can return that favor later. The Yuezheng family were connected with them, and their relationship was very close to each other. Moreover, the Xie family should be willing to help the advanced scholar who had a promising future, right? As long as he could stand out and let the Xie family appreciate his value, he would not fall into despair. The Xie family was far more promising than the Qiao family, no matter which position Officer Qiao found for himself. It would not be easy to return the favor, so they would rather not use it. But Xiao Yunduan was not a pretentious man. If he needed to use the contact, he would. He would return the favor double-fold in the future. Hearing his analysis, Qiao Xian suddenly felt better. She smiled. I'll feel much more assured hearing your words. Xiao Yunduan smiled. Don't need to overthink about this. You could be the honest and quiet concubine's daughter and leave the rest to me. Qiao Xian chuckled and nodded. Xiao Yunduan smiled and felt warmth in heart. He was going to become stronger so that he could protect his wife. His earlier dream had been to brighten up his family, but it became bigger now. They returned home, and NIS. Feng asked, everything all right? Ms. Fong had witnessed too many cold and warm things in interpersonal relationships, for example, the behavior of the second and the third section of the family. When she knew that Officer Qiao never liked Xiao Xian, but asked them to come over suddenly, Ms. Fong knew that something bad was going to happen. She had been so worried. Xiao Xian answered with a smile. "Don't worry, they just wanted to ask my husband about the autumn examination. Father needs some help in the government office." "Oh, okay." Ms. Fong didn't know any better and simply believed in what Xiao Xian said. Xiao Yinwan did not deny it and smiled. That was the end of the matter. Xiao Xian took a nap and asked Yang Xiaoni and Tao to get ready for dinner. Soon it was bustling in the kitchen and delicious dishes were getting cooked, fragrant. That was what a family should be like. The next day, Xiao Xian had all the seedlings transplanted. Everyone turned to look at the strange-looking banana seedlings, sugarcane seedlings, and pineapple seedlings. They were all growing so well. Our spring really breeds plants well. Look at how good those trees are. Yeah, the fruits should be tasty too. Xiao Xian smiled. Hopefully, they will turn out to be delicious. She turned to look at lychees and longans that normally grew in the south. All had budded, and the tallest one was already 3 inches tall. That was really fast. People in the south would get startled by the pace at which it grew. Normally, the buds would not have sprouted until a week later, let alone growing to this height. Xiao Xian let it happen faster because no one else in the family knew about it. Chapter 6:18. Xiao Xian's plan. These seedlings were tender and young, very cute, and full of vitality. Even though they were still small, they looked quite different from the common fruit tree seedlings in the north. Everyone else, including Tao, found them to be rare and fresh. Xiao Xian decided to visit them once a day and infuse some superpower in them to help them grow. The seedlings would grow to be what they should have been like in 3 or 4 years within 1 year's time. In this way, they should bloom and bear fruit the next year, most probably. Xiao Xian could wait at most 1 year to see if such plants worked. If not, she would give up the idea. But if this experiment worked, she would buy more fields and plant a large fruit garden so she could offer special tropical fruits to the market, earning a lot of money out of it. That would be nice. If that did not work, she could find a chance to head down south with Shao Yinduan. She would place a lot of tropical fruits in her space like longans, lychees, and mangoes, all for her to eat any time. She was really greedy for them. She could wait until the magical water in her space reached a certain thickness. Then the space would accept ordinary plants as well. After that, she could start to grow those ordinary plants in her space as well. Well, the space would not be unlimited, but hundreds of mu should be enough, right? Or even thousands of mu. One small farmland for herself, that would feel so nice. Xiao Xian had planned out everything. After this day, they continued to make lipsticks with new colors and went to the river to get shrimps or hunt animals in the mountains. Every day seemed leisurely and peaceful. Xiao Dalong's legs recovered finally. He had recovered to be able to do some heavy work, but not continuously for the first half a year. The whole family was so happy that this worry was finally gone. Ms. Su unexpectedly gave Xiao Xian 5 liang and asked her to make a table full of dishes as a celebration. Xiao Xian tried to turn away the money, but Ms. Su insisted that it was their kindness and that Xiao Xian needed to accept it. Xiao Xian only kept 2 liang and said with a smile, 5 liang is too much. We would not be able to finish the food. 1 chicken costs 50 or 61, and half a kilo of pork belly would cost just 15 or 16 won. We won't be able to finish anything more than that. 2 liang would be more than enough. She insisted on giving back 3 liang, which Ms. Su accepted in the end. She added, 2 liang is all yours, 5th sister-in-law. You have to cook for us, and I would feel really embarrassed if you don't take it. She was pregnant and could not do any work. Her husband's illness was treated with the shared money, and no one countered that. So Ms. Su felt really moved. Xiao Xian accepted the money eventually with a smile. The remaining money would be used to buy some small snacks for everyone to eat. Xiao Xian made 9 dishes and 1 soup with 2 liang, including salt-baked chicken, crispy chicken, as well as stewed duck with taro, stewed lion head, fish and sheep pot, ginkgo pork belly soup, and salted egg yolk tofu soup. Chapter 619. Not paying back. Xiao Xian used fresh and tender, soaked pea shoots and stir-fry them on a plate. The fresh green color, fresh and tender taste, made people never want to stop eating them. Ms. Fong was gratified and happy seeing the table full of dishes. Ms. Fong actually suspected that she had misheard the news when Ms. Su decided to offer money from her own pocket. After all, she was Ms. Zu's mother-in-law, and she had seen through her long ago. Ms. Fong was feeling very emotional about the days that became better and better. Those bad and small tricks were all gone. Not everyone was as annoying and ungrateful as the second and third section of the family. Ms. Fong would agree if she knew the basic principle of the modern world: money could solve 80% of the troubles in life. But she knew that she needed to support her son and daughter-in-law to keep making money so that life could get better and better. Also, it was all Xiao Xian's luck that helped. At the Qiao mansion, on the day when Xiao Xian and Shao Yinduan left, Officer Qiao could not wait, but hired someone to deliver the letter written by Shao Yinduan directly to the province. He ordered that the letter had to arrive in Yuezheng Shao's hands on the following day. According to Officer Qiao's plan, Yuezheng Shao should agree to his proposal. After all, it was always better to have some professionals to manage the land and fields for him. As long as Yuezheng Shao agreed to it, Officer Qiao would wait for a few days and then go over to meet Yuezheng Shao so that he could coax Yuezheng Shao and borrow 30,000 liang from him. Officer Qiao would give the money for the position he needed, and when he was back in the capital, he would start to earn enough money. It was not going to be easy to make 30,000 liang within a short while, but he did not think that the Yuezheng family would need this amount anyways. So, he never planned to pay back the money. By that time, the Yuezheng family would not really bother to go to the capital to get the money back. Besides, if he got promoted and soon won a high-rank position, he would return the Yuezheng family a favor in the end. Officer Qiao had everything arranged in his head. He was very confident. Yuezheng Shao had just received the regular lipsticks and limited versions of lipsticks from Xiao Xian. He was selling them out slowly. 5 sets of limited versions had been sold out, and 5 more families had already reserved the 3 minor sets, which made him feel really happy. The remaining 5 sets would arrive very soon. But Yuezheng Shao got very confused seeing the letter sent by Shao Yinduan. He was sure that it was written by Shao Yinduan, which made him feel even more confused. He ordered someone to bring over the messenger, and after a few questions, he understood what was going on. Wearing no expression on his face, Yuezheng Shao ordered the messenger to take a break. And then he smiled sinisterly. He saw through the situation quickly. Officer Qiao needed money desperately. He was trying to suck up to him urgently because he needed nothing else but money, maybe lots of it. But he would not give out money so easily. Instead of answering the letter, he thought for a while and called over a trusted servant. He appointed him to be the manager for the land at the Zhang village. Shao Yinduan could not do anything to his father-in-law. Then, he would deal away with him for his friend's sake. He did not need Shao Yinduan to be in charge of the tea fields. He had a suitable manager who could do that for him, and he was going to send that man there. That manager would not travel with the messenger. He ordered Xuan to send the messenger home first. Chapter 620. Distressed, the messenger did not want to leave. He smiled and asked about a reply. Xuan smirked and replied, "Our young master has his own plan. He never writes replies. Young master never wants to leave any trace of his writing outside, in case some trouble comes to his doorstep. Our young master has never written anything to your second, Miss Husband either. He only passes on messages. So, you can just pass on this message to your master." Speechless, the messenger had to leave with the oral reply. He could not make the decision for young Master Yuezheng. Also, Xuan was right. The Yuezheng family was so rich, and the old masters and young masters of the family would not leave any trace of their writing outside the family so easily. Without any delay, the messenger returned to the town before lunch the next day. Officer Qiao, who had been so anxious, summoned him directly. "Where's the reply? Give it to me." The messenger stiffened and staggered slightly. "Sorry, officer, but young Master Yuezheng has sent no reply." What? Young Master Yuezheng says that he already knows about this matter and he has already got his own plan, which he is going to conduct in a few days. Since you urged him, he will start to implement that now. Young Master Yuezheng's men should be coming over in a few days, and they will tell you clearly what is going on. Officer Qiao's head turned blank. He had no reaction for a long while. He sensed that something was wrong. So, he interrogated him and asked for more details. The messenger did not know anything more. He had just met young Master Yuezheng once and did not even exchange many words with him. Without getting any valuable information, Officer Qiao got even more annoyed, snapping at the messenger. You useless thing. You can't even do one mission well. Then, he ordered him to leave. The messenger felt relieved. How could that be possible? Officer Qiao felt so distressed, and he went to Madame Qiao to complain. Madame Qiao frowned and asked firstly, Old Master, are you sure that Shao Yunduan wrote what you told him to? Did he write anything that should not have been written in there? Did he turn them against us? Officer Qiao was startled, but soon shook his head. That is impossible. The strategist already wrote the draft, and Shao Yunduan copied it. Also, he examined the final draft, and I had the letter delivered on the same day. If Shao Yunduan wanted to do something bad in the middle, he would not have managed to reach there before us. Also, one don't think he would dare to. Moreover, young Master Yuezheng might not believe his words. Madame Qiao agreed. Young Master Yuezheng and Shao Yunduan were totally different people, with a huge gap in their rank. Shao Yunduan was never going to be able to turn the two parties against each other. That would be so ridiculous. Old Master, your proposal was beneficial for young Master Yuezheng, and he should not have not turned that down. Well, now that he already has a plan, then there is no way out. Madame Qiao sighed and felt distressed too. They still needed more than 20,000 liang, and they had almost used up every treasure they had. She had not even made any new clothes this spring like before, when she would get new clothes every season. She lived frugally and only had 2 sets for her daughter, who had been vehemently objecting to it. They could not even afford any ornaments and even had to save on new cosmetics. Chapter 6:21. Desperate Officer Zhao still. All these measures were not enough. What would they do now? The couple became even more distressed. If they had no money to buy the official position, they would have no chance to head back to the capital, and they would have wasted everything they spent in the past. I wish one could make a huge fortune. Officer Qiao complained. Madame Qiao snorted. What was the point of saying that now? How about waiting for young Master Yuezheng's men? Maybe we can write an IOU to that manager? Officer Qiao did not think that such a method was reliable. He and young Master Yuezheng were not friends, and his family wasn't under the charge of a county magistrate like him. The Yuezheng family was too rich and influential for a county magistrate like him to offend. He just cannot do that. Moreover, he cannot be sure that it would work. Let's just wait and see. He might give it a try if nothing else came to fruition. Yuezheng Shao was worried that if his men arrived a little late, that shameless county magistrate would cause trouble to Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian. So he ordered the manager and page boys to reach there the next day. The manager did not go to visit Officer Qiao, and only sent a few words through the strategist, who tried to console Officer Qiao. Then, he headed directly to the Zhang village. He would live at the Zhang village and act as the new manager. He asked Ting to deliver the letter to Shao Yunduan explaining the matter. Shao Yunduan and Xiao Xian were really grateful after receiving the assurance from the manager of the Yuezheng family. Shao Yunduan was devoted towards the last leg of preparation for the autumn examination. He was very confident that he would make it, but he could not just relax. It was related to his future, and he could not have a laid-back attitude about it or show no respect. Hearing the news from the strategist, Officer Qiao felt so annoyed. He sneered. The Yuezheng family is so wild. When I reach the highest rank in the government, I'm going to take revenge on them. The Yuezheng family's men did not bother visiting him because they did not want to get close to the Qiao family. This ruined Officer Qiao's plan of borrowing money. So he got really annoyed. He just could not go straight to the Yuezheng family to borrow money, could he? That would be belittling and humiliating for him. It would not make sense either. But Officer Qiao needed money desperately for the errand in the capital, and it could not be delayed. He turned to Madame Qiao. You should go through what we have now so that we can sell those things and gather some more money. Madame Qiao was displeased. Old master, we have offered everything we could already. You know that. Officer Qiao sneered. Stop lying to me. I know everything about your private money. You must dedicate your money to the family in this situation. Madame Qiao was annoyed and embarrassed. She pressed down the anger she was feeling. Old master, you are wrong. I have never hidden any private money. I'm simply saving a few things for my son and wife's dowry. Also, I'm doing this for your sake, old master. Officer Qiao realized that his behavior was overbearing a moment ago. So, he calmed himself down and said, I was wrong. But you should give the money now so that I can get a high position in the capital. At that time, I will pay you back in double. Chapter 6:22. Empty Madame Qiao knew that was how it should be. If she could give something up now, she would obtain more in the future in return. I will try my best. Madame Qiao had some jade and a few favorite ornaments pressed at the bottom of her boxes. She got them pawned in the province. The pawn shops were all very stingy. Anything worth more than 100 liang would only be pawned at 30%, not fetching more than 30 liang. Also, if the person pawning wanted to get them back, the fees would be raised multiple times. Even if she chose to give them as fixed goods, the things would fetch 70% at most, mostly 50%. Madame Qiao's ornaments and jadeware should be worth around 13,000 liang, but after pawning, she only got 7,600 liang in total. When the money and the invoices were brought back, Madame Qiao felt her chest ache. She felt so distressed. She tried to console herself that everything was worth the while, as long as she was able to get back to the capital. Once they were back in the capital, her husband would be in a high position and her daughter would marry into the home mansion. But Madame Qiao still felt really annoyed by the current loss. When she felt annoyed, she was going to make someone else feel equally upset as she was. Get whatever is saved in concubine dust place as well. Get all the gold, money, and jade. I have offered everything, but she does nothing. Madame Qiao asked Annie Ling to do so. Annie Ling loved making trouble for concubines and their daughters. She nodded and went to carry out the order with some maids. They rushed to concubine dust place. Concubine Du almost passed out because of anger. That was totally reasonable. Shame on them. She knew that the old master needed a lot of money, so she did not and could not stop the search. Otherwise, Madame Qiao would torment her in all possible ways. She was growing old, and she was not like before. So, she could not turn to the old master for help. The old master was not going to defend her. Most importantly, her daughter's marriage depended on Madame Qiao. Concubine Du felt her heart dripping blood. When she knew that Madame Qiao had offered everything she had, she and Xiao Ko even laughed at her in secret. But now it was their turn. Annie Ling was fast and straightforward. Leaving nothing with concubine Du, even the 300 liang under concubine dust bed was fished out. Annie Ling harvested a lot and left the place proudly. Concubine Du almost collapsed as she looked at her room later. She started to cry. Madame Qiao was doing a count of what they had got. The whole thing was worth 1,340 liang. She got so furious and cursed through clenched teeth. This bitch has stolen so much from old master under my nose. Damn her. Annie Ling consoled her with a smile. But now you have retrieved everything. Don't worry, Madame Qiao. Madame Qiao sneered. Of course. All of this is mine. Hearing the news, Xiao Ko hurried back to concubine dust place. She saw a distressed, tearful concubine Du as well as a messy room. Concubine Du, what is going on? Chapter 6:23. Madame Qiao killed her future concubine. Du took her hands, sobbing. Everything is gone. She is so cruel. She spared nothing. Nothing was left for us. All the money, even as small as 20 pennies, was scraped away by the maids. She even lost one box of blusher. Xiao Ko's heart sank. She went about and searched everywhere. Then she lost hope. She collapsed. Those things should have been hers. She had always been proud that though she was also a concubine's daughter, She was far different from disgraced Qiao. Even her dowry would be worth at least 1,000 liang. She used to think that she would have a great martial life with 1,000 liang as her dowry. Also, that was the bare minimum. As long as her mother was alive, she could also flatter her father, so the dowry could only become better. Also, her mother would have saved some more in 2 years. That was why she had been so confident all along. For those things, she was willing to flatter Qiao Wei, make her happy. But she had nothing left now. Shame on her, Xiao sobbed. She is the madam of the family, and she even scrapes out everything from a concubine's room. How could she? Stop it now. Concubine Du was shocked, covering Xiao mouth as she glanced around anxiously. Ko, no such words here. If she learns about this, we will have a terrible time. Xiao cursed. Are we having a good time now? All of her savings were gone. She was going to get married 2 or 3 years after Qiao Wei got married. She was sure that Madame Qiao was not going to take care of her. But her mother was a concubine who had no chance to start saving anymore. What was she going to do in the future? What should she do? Madame Qiao had killed her future. Concubine Du sobbed. Don't be impulsive. Don't worry, I will think a way for you. Xiao felt slightly relieved, but still remained annoyed. I can't accept it. Concubine Du was silent. She was unconvinced as well. But what more could she do? Forget about this when you step out of the room. We can't get those things back now, but if we turn ourselves into their enemies, is not worth it, right? Xiao nodded at Concubine Du, letting out a sigh. Don't worry, I know that. Xiao had a new goal at that moment. She was going to steal Qiao Wei's groom. She was definitely going to do so. Qiao Wei was brainless, arrogant, and impulsive. More importantly, she looked down at her and ordered her around as if she were her maid. So, Qiao Wei did not have the heart to stay loyal towards her. As long as she had the plan in her mind, she was going to steal Qiao Wei's groom. Xiao smirked and sneered in silence. They could wait until they went back to the capital. She was surely going to take revenge. Chapter 624. Tall fruit trees. Madame Qiao sneered at Concubine Du and Xiao's misery after she got their properties. She completely ignored their emotions. Qiao Wei learned about it too and even mocked them. In their eyes, the concubine and her daughter were just like servants for them to bully around. The concubine and the daughter would not be able to do anything in retaliation. Madame Qiao had no time to spare any more energy on the concubine and the daughter. She scraped again and got more than 7,000 liang in total. But that was still not enough. They had got everything they could offer, but they had the target of 10,000 liang. Actually, they would need at least 15,000 liang if they wanted to live well in the capital. Officer Qiao got so annoyed that he fell sick. The couple were really worked up, but could not come up with any useful method. They were in a terrible mood and even argued with each other a few times. Meanwhile, in the first section of the Shao family, the fruit trees that Xiao had planted were growing very well. The bananas were nearly taller than she was. The lychee and the mango trees were getting as thick as a finger and as tall as 1 meter. They were placed in a neat order in the empty place of the garden. Due to the hot weather, the mushrooms, wooden ears, and snow fungus were growing very fast too. The family picked some and sun-dried them in the yard. When this batch was sun-dried, they could deliver it to the province. They would even send the lipsticks to Yuezheng Shao at that time, so that Yuezheng Shao was saved the trouble of sending anyone over. The dried snow fungus weighed around 50 kilograms and was of the best quality. Xiao could easily sell them at 30 liang per 500 grams. They were going to earn at least 6,000 liang on this deal. That was such a pleasing thing. Seeing the tender vegetables growing in the garden, Xiao had a plan of making rice rolled in lettuce. As the name suggested, rice rolled in lettuce meant wrapping the fried rice with fresh and tender lettuce leaves. It should be eaten when hot. It had both the aroma of the food and the freshness of the lettuce. It was hot inside and cool outside and tasted great. This fried rice was not as simple as the ordinary fried rice with eggs, and the condiments were very rich. They included chopped bacon, diced fresh meat, diced bamboo shoots, diced mushrooms, minced leeks, minced pickles, minced eggs, etc. Some seasoning needed to be added, after which the ingredients would be stir-fried and added to the cooled rice. Finally, a spoonful of meat oil needed to be put in, making it taste better. After the stir-fry was done, they put it on the table in a large steaming bowl. They could scoop up a spoonful of it while it was still hot and wrap it in fresh and tender lettuce leaves. They could eat it like a wrap of roasted pork belly. It was tasty, and they could make it themselves easily. When the dish was served, Tao, Qi, and Shao Sanlang, as well as his foodie wife, loved it. Qiao Xian enjoyed the texture and thought that she should have made this earlier. She was going to seriously plan what to make in the future. She had money, time, as well as efficient helpers. The following day, Qi and Tao caught a lot of snails and came back to cook half of them as snacks. The small ones were fed to the ducks. Qiao Xian picked some more and added lemon juice, basil, dried chili, and so on to make an old duck snail pot. Chapter 625. Expansion soon. It was the time for the Dragon Boat Festival. Qiao Xian decided to deliver the presents to the Qiao mansion. On the way back, they were going to talk with the land agent who could talk with the land officer about buying a piece of land at the entrance of the village for mushrooms, especially for snow fungus. The place in the garden was not enough. They decided to hire Shao Dali to find a few honest men from the village who could help the couple to sort through the ingredients. They will be paid 35 won a day. Shao Dali was very glad to accept the proposal. He got his cousins along, and they managed to get 7 people in total. They picked a day and went to the Qiao family to send the presents. They had the same presents as last year. Nothing new, no kindness, just a mission. Neither Officer Qiao nor Madam Qiao were seen at the mansion. Xiao Wei was gone too. Xiao Ko could not be seen anywhere, and concubine Du was missing as well. The maids told them to leave after giving the presents. It was a very strange atmosphere in the mansion. Qiao Xian wanted to leave as soon as possible, but she was very surprised too. Anyways, she did not care what was going on in the mansion, as long as there was no trouble coming to her. Shao Yinduan believed that he was right. Officer Qiao not only needed a lot of money, he needed it urgently. When their master was angry, the servants did not dare utter a sound. But Officer Qiao did not turn to him and Xiao Xian for help after what happened last time. It seemed that he did not have much hope in them. Good. The couple went to the land agent and soon bought the land. They finished the deal within 2 days. It was a barren land of 8 mu, located close to the village entrance. Those in the village did not talk about this any longer. They did not think that it was anything new. It was the right time to cultivate snow fungus. Qiao Xian soon hired villagers to work on flattening the land. They were going to build a huge wall with bricks as tall as 3 meters, which would be out of the reach of any ladder. In the end, they built rows of sheds for mushrooms, whilst the ground was built on bricks, easy to handle and not prone to getting any mud in. They were going to build a storage house and tool house. They needed a storage house to store dried snow fungus and a tool house to store those tools, like dustpans, baskets, and cleaves. Qiao Xian did not intend to make a big fuss about it. Snow fungus were different from other mushrooms. Only rich people were able to eat those expensive things. If the secret was revealed, they would have a lot of trouble. They were not capable enough to bring the whole village to become rich. They would draw a lot of jealousy and calculation from peers. 15 people were hired to dig the land, including Shao Sanlang and Shao Dalong, who worked there as the supervisors. They were paid 35 won a day as well. They needed professionals to build the wall and house, and they needed laborers as well. They were all in the same team. It would take 20 days or so to finish the project, and it should cost less than half a liulang. The workers were all very happy. Widow Sun, who had not been seen for ages, squeezed through the crowd and watched the show. Hearing how the villagers spoke highly of the first section of the family, she felt very sour. Chapter 626. Jealousy. She regretted that she had not agreed to Ding Qingqing's proposal of marrying Shao Yinduan. Now, she was forced to deal with Ding Jihea's wife, being his concubine, and was living a terrible life. She could not stand it anymore when she saw how well the Shao family was doing right now. This should have been her life. All of this should have been hers. Widow Sun snapped at Qiao Xian, forcing a smile. Yenduan's wife, Your life is getting better and better. You buy fields every year. Where do you get this much money? Do you have any ways of making money? Share that with us as well. We are all living in the village, and you should take care of us, right? You eat meat, and you can at least share some meat soup with us, no? We are all grateful people, you know. We'll pay you back. What widow's son said drew some agreement from the bystanders. Some of them even seemed quite expectant. Yeah, teach us how to live a good life, all right? Maybe they really have some ways of making money. Otherwise, where do they get this much money? That seems true, but they don't seem to be engaged in anything. Maybe we can listen to their story? They won't tell you. Otherwise, you will become a competitor. But we are in the same village, aren't we? Seeing many people nodding at what she said, widow's son sneered. See, Yenduan's wife, we all want to hear the truth. Qiao Xian smiled. Who do you think you are that I have to obey what you say? I'm going to ask my mother-in-law if she agrees to your demand. Many people laughed in the crowd. Widow's son was the concubine of the former land officer. Right now, Ting Jahea's wife and she were in the midst of a big fight, and everyone was gossiping about it. Qiao Xian was right. Who did widow's son think she was? How dare she confront the county magistrate's daughter, who was also the wife of a cultivated talent? No one dared to take widow's son's side when Ms. Fong was mentioned. Ms. Fong was not simple to deal with. It was never easy to figure out how others made money. Widow's son turned so pale as she shivered. You are looking down at us. The richer the people are, the more stingy they are. Qiao Xian's words poked her right in her wound. Qiao Xian blinked. We are not rich people. Also, why stingy and bad? Tell me. Or it'll tell my mother-in-law who can ask people in your family what you mean. Why am I stingy when I'm telling the truth? Widow's son was so annoyed. Qiao Xian sank her face. Say it. If you don't say it clearly, one will never accept you accusing me of things I didn't do in front of so many people. Widow's son was shivering. She almost suffocated. Ting Jiahao had been obsessed with her, and he told her some sweet words. But she was blamed in the end because he thought that she had caused him to lose the land officer position. Chapter 627. Deserved now. Ting Jiahao kept cursing and hitting her whenever he thought of this matter. Miss Qjao did not even treat her as a human being. Even her daughter was treated like a maid, and she did not even dare cry. She regretted it so much. If Qiao Xian, Ms. Fong, and the Shao family went to her husband's home to cause trouble, she would be tormented again by Miss Qjao. Widow's son felt dreadful at the thought. She was frightened and held a deep grudge towards Qiao Xian. But she regretted her impulsive behavior. She should have stayed silent. Qiao Xian could tell that she was scared, but she still showed a calm look on her face, though she was sneering inwardly. If you try to create a rumor, you need to apologize. Widow's son opened her mouth. She really could not make an apology, especially to Qiao Xian. That was like a slap right across her face. Still, she understood her situation. Widow's son closed her eyes and said, Sorry, I should not have said that. Qiao Xian did not want to show harshness in front of others. She smiled and said, I will let you go, since you apologized. But you should watch out what you say next time. Accusing others for things they don't do is a bad virtue. Widow's son's face sank, and she clenched her teeth in anger. But she did not dare offend Qiao Xian again. It was too late, though. Miss Qjao arrived there in anger. She glared at Widow's Sunday. You lazy, greedy bitch. I'm so busy at home whilst you're watching show here. Get home now, or you will have no food tonight. Widow's son was so annoyed that she almost wanted to hit Miss Qjao to death. This evil bitch. But she did not dare to. She was just a concubine who was married in a very humiliating way. Ms. Qjao was the mistress of the family, and she could do whatever she wanted to her. People were looking at her. Widow's son was so angry and humiliated that she dashed off with her head lowered. What a pitiful woman. Yeah, it was her fault for having done such a humiliating thing. Yeah, she asked for it. Although there seemed to be a fig leaf over her affair, and the explanation seemed really reasonable, everyone understood what was going on. It was just some gossip in the whole village that no one liked to talk about. They sighed, exchanged opinions, and went home when it was time to make dinner. The crowd dispersed eventually. Qiao Xian checked the place, spoke a few words, and went home too. She did not feel sorry for Widow Sunday. Widow Sun did not deserve her compassion. But for her superpower, Shao Dalan's leg would have been done. If it wasn't for Ms. Yin, who eavesdropped on their conversation and told her and Xiao Yinduan about it, no one would have foreseen that it was a conspiracy. They were Widow Sun's enemies, and maybe she and the former land officer would have gotten them killed someday. This woman was evil, and it served her right to be treated like this. Ms. Qiao was the right person who could bring her down. Chapter 628. Not two owners at the Qiao mansion. Officer Qiao and Madame Qiao were very distressed and kept sighing for the lack of money. They started with an amiable discussion, but soon the discussion developed into an argument. The whole backyard was filled with anger and darkness. In the end, Madame Qiao came up with an idea. How about borrowing some money from those rich families again? Officer Qiao was startled. He already did it once. Otherwise, his coffers would have been empty ages ago. Officer Qiao did not think that it was good for his reputation if he turned to them again. It was not a very good thing if a county magistrate borrowed money from locals. It would turn him into a joke. He had chosen 5 very rich, not tricky families when he borrowed the money for the first time. He got 1,000 liang from each of them. They were nice families, but they were not very happy when they had to fork out so much money to the county magistrate. If he turned to them again, if he ran to them again, it would be unreasonable, and his reputation would be ruined among all the rich families. The fewer people knew about it, the better. 1,000 liang was already a lot of money. If he borrowed 1,000 liang again, that was still not enough. He needed to find some more families to help him gather the amount. Officer Qiao felt really uncomfortable thinking that his name would be ruined. Madame Qiao sneered, seeing his confused face. Reputation? His reputation was worth no money. His reputation could not be worthwhile compared to his future prospects. Madame Qiao did not want to give up now, especially since they had invested so much in this position. Old master, your future is more important? Think about this. If you can be higher in the position, the reputation is nothing. She continued coaxing him. Also, when you step into a higher position, you can return the money to them, and it would be their luck to be related to you at that time. They would be so happy about it. Officer Qiao nodded, and he gradually felt better. True. As long as I attain a high position in the capital, I will have enough money. I can return the loaned amount to them by that time. Also, nothing else mattered if the future was promising. More importantly, if all worked well, he could be back to the capital by the end of spring. He did not have to stay here for 1 more year. Then, he would not need to worry about being laughed at. Soon, he would be away from this place. That is it. Officer Qiao made up his mind to do so. The rich families, including Old Master Zhao, were all shocked. They had just lent out 1,000 liang. They still had to give more this time? They would not ask him to return the money since he was county magistrate. So, they never held any expectations that the money would be returned. But that was 1,000 liang. Even rich families like Old Master Zhao were not happy to have it in other people's hands, let alone to someone who would never return it. The old masters gathered together, exchanging some thoughts with each other. What is wrong with Officer Qiao? He wants 1,000 liang again. I don't have this much money. Someone broke the silence and started to complain. Yeah, I only have fields, not cash. Chapter 629. Old Master Zhao's Bitterness. 1,000 earlier and 1,000 again now? That is just sigh. We don't have this much cash, either. What should we do? We don't earn much money easily, right? The county magistrate's behavior is over the top. What should we do? The sighing and complaints stopped when the question was raised by someone. They all turned to Old Master Zhao with an inquiring look. His was one of the top rich families, and the Zhao family had a close relationship with the county magistrate. Old Master Zhao smiled bitterly. He was feeling even more wronged in his heart. While the others lent out 1,000 liang, he had to loan out 1,500 liang. When the others were asked for 1,000 this time, the strategist asked him to offer 2,000 liang instead. He was so annoyed and almost spat out blood. What should we do? He is an officer. Also, he is just borrowing, someone sneered. That is just an excuse. We all know that the money can't ever be returned. Yeah, but who dares say that out loud? Everyone became silent. Old Master Zhao sighed. Let's just gather the money and send it to Officer Qiao. We can't really fight with the officers, you know. We should take a step back. Besides, Officer Qiao has never asked to borrow money from us before. He must be in real trouble in recent times. True. They nodded, sighed, and shook their heads. They had to give the money. Officer Qiao was not a greedy officer, but he was not a nice man. When he asked for something, they had to give it out obediently. Soon, Old Master Zhao gathered 2,000 liang and had it delivered. The others also tried to collect the money. Some even secretly sold out a few valuable things and managed to get 1,000 liang. Some families had to offer the money, since everyone else did. They did not dare to make any complaints. Officer Qiao sorted out the money and went into the capital with his trusted man. He felt so glad to have this load off his mind. You are smart. The money problem is settled. Madame Shao let out a sigh of relief as well. She smiled. I will do anything I can for your sake, old master, he said emotionally. Our family will flourish with you next to me. I will definitely earn you a great title in the future. Madame Qiao liked to hear this kind of promise. Thank you very much for that, old master. You deserve it. Fearing that Officer Qiao would ask for some more money, Old Master Zhao left home and went traveling. He was not planning to return home within half a year. As long as he was absent, his son could not make the decision, which could be used as the excuse to turn down any new request. The Qiao family had offered the Zhao family much convenience. But the Qiao family got 3,500 liang from the Zhao family, not including other attributes. That seemed like a huge loss for the Zhao family after all. Old Master Zhao felt very annoyed and uncomfortable as well. Seeing that Old Master Zhao was gone, the other families also realized what was going on. They went traveling as well. Almost everyone from the Zhao family learned about how the Qiao family asked for the money from them. They felt so uncomfortable. They all believed that Officer Qiao treated them differently. They even bragged about hanging out together. But this behavior was such a slap on their faces. Officer Qiao asked them for far more money than he did from other families. Zhao Ming was especially annoyed. She had been treating Qiao Wei so nicely and even helped Qiao Wei find some information about Qiao Xin secretly. But now, she was not going to tell Qiao Wei anything anymore. Chapter 630. To the weekend fact, she was going to vent her anger on Qiao Xian. That was a very strange logic. When someone offended a person who was more powerful and could not take revenge on that person, one would definitely try to bully those who were weaker just to vent the anger. The brave attacked the strong, and the timid attacked the weak. That was what happened in the society. It was the same as in the case of those who had a bad time in their life, but vented their anger at those children in the kindergarten and primary school. Zhao Ming felt annoyed by Qiao Wei, but she only dared to curse her in her heart. She did not dare set up Qiao Wei or take revenge on her, but she was going to pick on Qiao Xian. Qiao Xian was also Officer Qiao's daughter. Officer Qiao was so annoying, so his daughter should bear the responsibility. The more she thought about this, the angrier Zhao Ming felt. So, she found some time and headed directly to Shouting Village. When she arrived, the house for Snow Fungus had been built. Zhao Ming turned to the coachman and sneered. This is by Qiao Xian again? Interesting. What is it exactly? It is not a house, right? But this showed Qiao Xian did have some money, no? Otherwise, she would not be able to afford to build these. They had a big residential house and also dozens of moo fields. There should be more than 100 moo of field in total, right? Those fields were not worth more than good fields, but together, it would add up to something after all. Zhao Ming suddenly came up with an idea. She thought about taking Qiao Xian's belongings since the Qiao family forced the Zhao family to offer money. These fields were not valuable, but she was going to get them, for her family's sake. Although she did not think this little thing would be worth much, at least she would feel better. The villagers were used to seeing wagons heading towards the first section of the Shao family, so Zhao Ming's arrival did not attract any attention. It was Li Xia who opened the door. She was startled. Who are you? Zhao Ming did not care about a small maid. But did this mean that they could afford to hire servants now? That was surprising. She could not help but spare a few glances at Li Xiao. She felt even more annoyed. Li Xiao behaved so well, and she did not seem like a cheap, stupid servant. Almost as good as her own. Qiao Rong asked, "Is this cultivated talent Shao, Yuan, and Ms. Qiao's home?" Li Xiao nodded. "It is. Good. Our lady is here to talk with them," Qiao Rong said, as she was about to walk in with Zhao Ming. Li Xiao frowned. She did not stop them, but shut the door instead of letting the coachman walk in. This lady did not seem to be her mistress' friend. She looked so bad-tempered. She could not stop her, but she could at least shield her from coming into the yard. The first section of the Shao family was very busy at this time. Xiao Xian and a few girls were working very hard in the flower fields. Apart from Shao Yuan, who was studying at home, only Ms. Fong and Ms. Su were home, taking care of the children with Li Xiao. Ms. Fong heard the noise and walked out. She sized up Zhao Ming. Chapter 631. Ojao Xian's money. Li Xiao walked forward and bowed to Ms. Fong. "Madam Shao, this lady is asking for Ms. Qiao." She could not stop her. She did not dare stop her mistress friend. But she hesitated for just 1 second, which allowed Zhao Ming to walk in with her servants. "Oh, you are here to look for Ms. Qiao." Ms. Fong noticed Zhao Ming sizing up the house, and looking at the way she reacted, she believed that Zhao Ming was not here to chat with Ms. Qiao. But she had not done anything so far, so she just smiled and asked, "What is your name?" Qiao Rong said arrogantly, "It is Lady Zhao." "Okay, Lady Zhao, come to the house and take a seat. Li Xiao, go and fetch Ms. Qiao." Ms. Fong greeted her with a smile. Li Xiao rushed to the flower field in the backyard. Zhao Ming walked in and saw the nice furniture made with good wood. These are not precious, but definitely not cheap either. The yard was bigger than other farmer families' homes, and there were some other yards as well. The floor was covered with bricks. An ordinary family could not have afforded this. She saw the flowers too. There were hydrangeas, peonies, and magnolias. The glazed windows surprised her. Those are not cheap at all. Those large glazed windows let in the light, and this was not an easy piece of work. Xiao Xian did it, right? These countryside people should have heard of anything like glazed windows. Where did Xiao Xian get this much money? Zhao Ming believed that Xiao Xian must have offered her dowry, so the first section of the family could live a luxurious life like this. Madame Qiao could not have possibly given Xiao Xian this much dowry. Xiao Xian's mother left all this to her? That must be right. Interesting. Zhao Ming sneered as if she had gotten a bargaining chip. She felt motivated. In the field, Xiao Xian was startled. Lady Zhao. She did not know any Lady Zhao, but when she thought of Zhao Ming, she almost turned pale. "Let's go." Xiao Xian told Tao Tao and the others to continue working whilst going back to the yard with Li Xiao. Zhao Ming could not be here for anything good. Lady Zhao. Xiao Xian was wearing ordinary cotton clothes that were half new. The shoes on her feet were also coarse cloth shoes, with a little mud stuck on them. She had been working in the flower field. The hair bun was wrapped with a light-colored floral cloth. That was to prevent the hair from being blown by the wind and messing up the vision, and also to stop the hair from being blown into the flower juice. When Zhao Ming saw how messy Xiao Xian looked, she felt comfortable. She sneered. "Second miss, what made you look like this? I would not recognize you on the street." Xiao Xian took her to the wing room and asked, "What are you doing here?" Zhao Ming snorted, glancing about. "Second miss, you're living a good life here, right?" Xiao Xian understood what she meant. If elder Miss Qiao learned about this, she would act on it. Zhao Ming thought that she had got the bargaining chip, but she was wrong. Xiao Xian repeated her words calmly. "I'm wondering what you're doing here, Lady Zhao." Chapter 632. Shocked Zhao Ming had a bad look on her face. She said angrily, "Of course I am here to collect debt. The county magistrate got so much money from our home, so I am here to collect it from you. So what?" That was not a secret among all the rich families in the county. Even the masters and mistresses from the Zhao family knew about it. Zhao Ming naturally believed that she did not need to keep it a secret, thus spilling it out loudly. Xiao Xian thought to herself that no wonder she was a good friend with Qiao Wei. They had the same temper, but she was shocked by what Zhao Ming said. Did her father get much money from the Zhao family? It seemed that her husband was right. Her father was in desperate need of money. The Zhao family might have been annoyed to offer a few hundred liang. But if Zhao Ming was this worked up, then it basically meant that the Qiao family had taken thousands of liang from them. Xiao Xian was shocked. Thousands of liang was a very large number. The Zhao family was rich, but she was sure that they could not stand that much taken out of their family as well. Xiao Xian said calmly, "Lady Zhao, you are behaving way over the top. I don't know much about what happened, but my father has been treating you and your family well these days. Why do you react so much to loaning out this little money?" "Little money?" Zhao Ming sneered. "We gave your family many presents over the years, but still, he took 3,500 liang from us. You said, that is little? It seems that you are rich enough to call this amount little now?" Xiao Xian. She really wanted to tell her that a few thousands of liang was a small amount for her now. She had cash worth more than 40,000 liang. But what position was her father trying to achieve, which cost him so much? He was in such a hurry. Did it mean that he was leaving the country soon? That would be great. Xiao Xian showed a look of surprise. Then, what has it got to do with me? Huh? Zhao Ming sneered. You are his daughter. Xiao Xian, if I tell others that you're living in a house with glazed windows and large yards, and you even have hundreds of mu of fields, what do you think will happen? Xiao Xian was speechless. She got nothing good out of her father, but her father had caused her such trouble. Zhao Ming was very annoyed to have lost this much money, so she was venting her anger. What do you want? Xiao Xian did not show any expression. Zhao Ming believed that Xiao Xian was pretending to be composed. She said proudly, "I'll know you are poor, but I want your fields. Then, I will keep this a secret for you." Xiao Xian did not believe her. Xiao Xian was not going to give away the fields here. Even if she did, what would happen next time? Was she going to give it to Zhao Ming whenever she wanted something from No? She was not going to give away anything. You don't want to? Aren't you afraid that Elder Miss Qiao would know about this? Xiao Xian, you are a smart person. You know what choice to make. Chapter 633. Reasonable Qiao, Xian asked in a calm voice. Lady Zhao, do you think that the Shao family are rich enough to get those fields and a big house? Zhao Ming was startled. She was confused too, but then she sneered. It's all thanks to you. Xiao Xian shook her head. It's not me, but my husband. I only know that the fields are related to young Master Yuezheng in the province, but one don't know the details. Young Master Yuezheng keeps a low profile, and he doesn't like bragging. But this is not some dirty deal, so you can tell anyone you want. Xiao Xian was still trying to use Yuezheng Shao as the shield. Afterwards, she could go to Shao Yunduan and talk about the compensation. Allos, Yuezheng Shao had a manager who was now residing at the Zhang village. He could be the messenger. He was working for the Yuezheng family, and he would always work better than Shao Yunduan as proof. Zhao Ming had heard of the Yuezheng family in the province. She was startled hearing what Xiao Xian said. You are lying to me, aren't you? Xiao Xian, you can believe me or not. It depends on you. Zhao Ming snorted and flushed furiously. She got very angry about not being able to get the fields. Maybe she was even looked down upon by Xiao Xian. She did not need the fields. She just wanted to vent her anger. How could that be so difficult? So, young Master Yuezheng has purchased all those fields? What does he need those fields for? Xiao Xian replied with a shrug. I'm not sure about it. Xiao Xian sounded so natural just when she said that. She was just a woman who should not be involved with family business, right? Zhao Ming believed so too. She looked at Xiao Xian quietly. She was not very satisfied, but there was nothing she could do. She could not go and get the information from Shao Yunduan. Xiao Xian was chuckling inwardly, thinking that she could imagine all the stories she wanted. It was time to make lunch, and Xiao Xian did not want Zhao Ming to stay here any longer. Lady Zhao, it is time for lunch. One think you can. Zhao Ming snorted and looked disdainful, so stingy. She believed that she was going to remain for lunch. She did not want to eat anything from the poor family. Xiao Xian, you must never lie to me. I will look into what you said. If you have lied to me, I will teach you a lesson. Qiao, we should leave now. Zhao Ming left arrogantly. Qiao Xian ignored her and told Miss Fang about it. When Miss Fang learned that Zhao Ming's brother was hanging out with Shao Liulang, so she snapped. No wonder she seems like a bad person. She looks down at us. She should never bother to come to our door if she looks down at us. We are not begging her. Qiao Xian laughed. Mom, next time she is here, send someone to fetch me, but do not speak with her. Ladies from the town are always arrogant and they never talk nicely. Don't take what they say to your heart, or get upset, okay? Ms. Fang smiled and said, Thanks for your concern, my daughter-in-law. They happened to go into the mountains the previous day and hadn't finished eating the muntjac, meat they hunted back. At noon, they made shredded pork and sauce, braised venison, Crucian carp loofah soup, fried wolfberry sprouts, river shrimp fried spring leeks, and a bowl of kimchi pickled with carrots, beans, chili, and cabbage. Those seasonal vegetables were delicious and fresh. Chapter 634. No involvement after lunch, they returned to their own yards. That was when Xiao Xian told Xiao Yunduan about Zhao Ming's visit. The couple would have originally thought that Zhao Ming wanted to suck up to Qiao Wei, and hence she tried to pry into their matter. But the truth was that she came to vent her anger because of the loan. Xiao Xian thought of how Shao Liulang spilled the information to her at the tea house. They knew that she was not up to anything good. They did not even interrogate Shao Liulang. There was no need to say anything to a person like him. What they needed was to stay cautious. After some discussion, the couple went to the Zhang village and gave the update to the manager there. The manager assured them. He said disdainfully, the Zhao family, the Zhang family, or any family are nothing, as long as our young master moves a finger. Once he does that, they will have no prospering business. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan laughed. Zhao Ming told her mother about what happened. She wondered if she should tell Qiao Wei what she found at the first section of the Shao family. Madame Zhao was very surprised when she heard about the life Xiao Xian was living. She knew pretty well what went on inside mansions like that. But you said that young Master Yuezheng was mentioned? He's involved in it. Yeah, but 1 a.m. not sure if she is lying. Just leave it, Madame Zhao said calmly. What does it have to do with us? We should not get nosy like this. Zhao Ming was struck speechless. She felt that it was so stupid to have visited Xiao Xian. How the Qiao family was doing had nothing to do with the Zhao family. She could help to get some information before. But Officer Qiao forced the Zhao family to pay him 3,500 liang, and the two families' relationship was broken. She better not share the information with Qiao Wei anymore. Besides, the Yuezheng family was involved in this as well. That was enough to motivate her to stay out of it. She even wished that Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan would be powerful enough to get young Master Yuezheng to help them take revenge on Officer Qiao's family. Oh, got it, Mom. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan thought that something would happen after Zhao Ming went back. But nothing did. They were very confused. They had no idea why the accident did not happen, but they did not think that it would never come. After all, Zhao Ming would not be able to keep it a secret for too long. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan only wished that life could be more peaceful. But Xiao Xian was still very confused why her father needed this much money. So she asked Yuezheng Shao to look into that. Soon, Yuezheng Shao's message arrived. Her father was trying to get a transfer back to the capital. Officer Qiao was the last generation of the rank. The Qiao mansion lost its rank when her father took it over. They were just an ordinary family henceforth. The mansion would not have any power or contacts, since there were so many rich people and people in high positions in the capital. Chapter 635. To province, it was not very easy for her father to get transferred back to the capital. No wonder he needed this much money. But the way he asked for the money was so shameless. It was good that he had no idea about her properties. Otherwise, he would have kept pestering her. Once the foundation was built, the house at the entrance of the village was completed within a few days' time. Soon after, they built the shelf and started to transport the mushrooms. There were dustpans, cleaves, baskets, all bought in large batches. Many people in the village were able to weave such things, so Xiao Xian turned to them and paid them to make enough. The planting of mushrooms started within half a month. The mushrooms only took up 3 mu, and it would soon grow in a few months. The plan of filling up the house should go smoothly. That was all money right in front of her. Xiao Xian was very satisfied. The pomegranates were also blooming in full swing. Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan decided to head to the province after they made another batch of pomegranate color lipsticks. The autumn examination took place at the end of July, and the time was fast approaching. Xiao Xian needed to get everything settled before she left, in case something happened. Especially ever since she almost got exposed in front of Officer Qiao, she had become more careful. She was not sure what would happen when she and Shao Yunduan were away for almost 2 months. She was going to entrust her matter to Yuezheng Shao's manager. The manager had a strong background, and he could deal with everything with him in charge. He would at least solve the small problems which could occur in 2 months' time. When all was settled, Xiao Xian and Shao Yunduan left the village in silence on June 20th. They had 1,300 lipsticks, 10 kilograms of dried snow fungus along with Li Xia and Li Qiao. Their destination was the province. Ms. Fong had wanted Qi to follow them, but Shao Yunduan turned her down. Their elder brother was too honest, and the third brother was a bit slow in mind. Qi seemed young, but he should remain at home to protect the others. He could buy one page boy to run errands and carry stuff when he arrived in the province. He could keep him if he wanted to, or sell him after the examination. Ms. Fong could not persuade him, and thus agreed. Shao Yunduan repeatedly told the family that no one should tell others that he went out for the examination. The news they spread was that he was out to visit friends since he was in a bad mood. Even this was not to be mentioned to anyone, unless someone asked, especially to the other sections of the family. Actually, Shao Yunduan was very worried about Shao Liulang, who hung out with Zhao Guanghua. He might talk nonsense at any point in time. The Qiao family and the Zhao family were too close to each other. If Madame Qiao knew that he was going to take the examination, she might try to cause some trouble. He and Xiao Xian were not at home, and their parents and siblings were all honest farmers. They would not be able to confront people like Madame Qiao, who could set them all up easily if she used some tricks. Shao Yunduan could not take the risk. Shao Liulang was very concerned whether he was going to take the examination and even came to ask him about this. Shao Yunduan showed a bad look to him and said that he was not. Shao Liulang laughed proudly and pretended to console Shao Yunduan. Then he left happily. Chapter 636. Warning: he did not care if Shao Yunduan treated him nicely or not. Shao Liulang believed that he was in a bad mood and could be forgiven. Shao Liulang did not suspect him. After all, Shao Yunduan was driven out of Minghua College, and without any teacher's instructions, he could not exchange opinions with anyone, thus going around without a clue. In that case, he would not have the guts to take the autumn examination. Even if he did, he would not make it. It would be just a waste of money. What was the point? Although Shao Liulang left in satisfaction, Shao Yunduan did not relax his vigilance. He still stressed that the secret had to be kept. He said to eldest uncle in a serious tone, "Dad, you should never, ever tell anyone from the second or third section of the family about my going to take the examination. Many people from the college are jealous of me, and if they know that one will be attempting the examination, they would cause trouble. I have never begged you for anything, but please, this time listen to me." Eldest uncle was very confused. "I will never tell anyone outside the family. But are you intending to keep it from our family too?" "I will tell them not to tell anyone else. Our family would not cause you any trouble." "Dad," Shao Yunduan knew that it would be the answer. He said quietly, "I am not joking with you. The secret would no longer be secret if it is told to even a single person." "Dad, are you trying to cause me and our family trouble?" Eldest uncle turned pale. "Is it that serious?" "Yes, in fact, far more serious than we think. You would never know. Madame Qiao was an evil woman, and she could do anything she liked here in the county. She did not care about anyone. NIS. Fong turned angry. "What is wrong with you?" "Duan told you so, because it is a serious matter. I don't know the details, but I trust Duan." "You don't believe him? You think your son is messing around? What is so bad about keeping it a secret? Duan is on the way to the examination, and you're talking back to your son. I am warning you. If you ever tell anyone about it and cause us trouble, I will divorce you. My children are all grown-ups, and we can live separately. I can live without you. Her sons would take care of her anyway. Eldest uncle got so humiliated hearing her threat. Okay then, I won't spill it. How can be so serious? Eldest uncle left the room angrily. Miss Fong said to Xiao Yunwan, "Don't worry, I will make sure that he doesn't talk." Xiao Yunwan nodded. "Thanks, Mom." They had a huge house, and Xiao Yunwan and Xiao Xin had their avant-garde. They barely showed up in front of others. So, their absence would not cause much attention. Soon, the news that Xiao Yunwan gave up the examination was spread around. Some were laughing, some were making up stories, and some felt that Xiao Yunwan gave this up because he believed that he would fail. Only some people really showed concern. Some even came to the door to pry. They were very curious. It was not a very good thing to discuss, and Ms. Fong was not happy to answer them. She just exchanged a few words with them and received some consolation like it is fine, he can do that later, what a pity, etc. Chapter 637. Province No. 1 found that it was strange when Xiao Yunwan and Xiao Xian did not show up in front of people. They would be too embarrassed to do so, and people could totally understand that. At the Qiao family, Officer Qiao understood that it was not a very reasonable thing he did to have borrowed this much money from others. So, he stayed quiet and tried to avoid meeting people during this time. He even told Madame Qiao and Xiao Wei as well as the others to remain at home, rather than attend any banquets, at least for the next few months. Madame Qiao stayed at home, saying that she was practicing Buddhism. Even if County Magistrate Qiao did not tell her to, she would not have gone out by herself. She knew that she would not be well received after she got so much money from others. Xiao Wei did not step out either. She hoped that some of her girlfriends could come to the door and visit her. But no one showed up. Xiao Wei felt quite cold in her heart. She sneered at them for pursuing the small benefits. They should feel lucky to have befriended her. When she was back to the capital next spring, they would have no chance to suck up to her. They would regret it deeply at that time. Moreover, she was going to marry the home mansion. Those noble families were totally out of reach for these landlords' children. Xiao Wei was still dreaming without realizing that Xiao Ko was planning to set her up. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan went to the mansion which the Yuezheng family had given them after they reached the province. It was spread across 7 mu, with 3 corridors and a small garden. There was still a lot of space after the 4 of them moved in. Yuezheng Shao had learned that they would arrive within these few days, so he had already ordered servants to clean up the whole place and left a couple to help with some house chores. In this way, they would not panic. The following day, Xiao Yunduan asked the gate guard to pass on the invitation to the Yuezheng family in Xiejiangrong. Then, he bought a page boy in his teens and named him Songshi. Finally, someone was running the errands for him. Yuezheng Shao and Xiejiangrong replied and said that they could have a meeting the following day. First, Madame asked Annie Hua to send 2 maids to Qiao Xian with some delicious food, saying that she was going to be invited to spend some time at the mansion. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan answered them happily. They spent the first day at home, taking a break. The couple came to the house for the first time, so they walked about and touched every corner. The woman said that it was the first madam who had supervised the decoration. Xiao Yunduan and Xiao Xian could tell that it was very carefully decorated. Even the ingredients in the kitchen were all settled ahead of time. There were many trees and flowers in the garden. Some were placed in small pots and had been exquisitely taken care of. At this time, the crepe myrtle was in full bloom. Other blooming flowers included the Chinese trumpet vine, hydrangea, gardenia, rhododendron, jasmine, wisteria, etc. They cast down thick shade and drove away heat. There was a square pavilion in the northeast area of the garden, which faced a huge rockery. Chapter 638. Yuezheng Ting again in front of the pavilion. There was a small pond of 13 to 14 square meters. In the pond, there were beautiful koi swimming around and water lilies. In the shallow water, there were clumps of unknown aquatic plants with golden flowers as high as half a person. They were full of vitality. Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan loved the house. They decided to get the family here to spend some time together in the province after the Mid-Autumn Festival. There was a small market close by, so Xiao, Li Xia, and Li Qiao went to buy some stuff. She decided to cook during the following days. With Li Xia, Li Qiao helping around, she could definitely cook 3 meals a day for these people. They bought 30 eggs, 1 chicken and lamb ribs, as well as some other fresh vegetables. She was going to stew the chicken and braise the ribs with 2 vegetables. Before that, First Madam sent 2 boxes over. It consisted of 8 dishes and 1 soup. They could not finish it, and the day was too hot for the dishes to be kept. Xiao gave some to the maids and guards, so that they could share the food with their families. The staff was very glad and thanked the couple. Xiao and Shao Yinduan settled down in the province. By this point, there were a few wealthy cultivated talents who had already come to the province. They were either living in their own houses or at their relatives. Some were even stationed to the hostels. They soon started to befriend each other. They exchanged opinions and information. It was very lively. Shao Yinduan went there occasionally, but not often. He did not reveal his relationship with Xie Jingrong, but Xie Jingrong gave him the earliest and most comprehensive information, so he did not have to gather up with those people. He could spend more time studying at home or going out with Qiao. That was much more comfortable. Qiao would visit First Madam occasionally, and First Madam treated her nicely as always. First Madam did not want her to cook. She even gave her some good chefs to help her. But Qiao turned her down. She bought the most fresh ingredients in the nearest market, and Li Xia and Li Qiao helped along. So they could cook a meal with 3 dishes and 1 soup easily. It was the province, and they did not lack anything. She liked cooking anyway. She could even buy beef every second day. Honestly, she only got to buy beef only 3 times in the counter market. Now, they were able to eat many dishes cooked with beef. They had stir-fried beef with green pepper, braised beef and brown sauce, Westlake beef soup, stewed beef tendon meat, beef hot pot, beef dry pot, sauerkraut boiled beef slices, boiled beef, stewed beef brisket, and a hot pot containing beef offal or stewed or fried beef. Each dish was delicious. On her 3rd visit to the First Madam, she ran out of luck and came across Yuezheng Ting. She was about to dodge her when Yuezheng Ting stopped right in front of her. "How dare you come here? Don't you feel guilty?" The guiding maid did not know what to do, so she had to step aside. Qiao was confused. "What do you mean, Lady Yuezheng?" Yuezheng Ting shouted. "You were trying to trick me again. You still haven't told me your actual residential address." Chapter 639. Lipstick Xiao had tricked her way too many times, and even good-tempered people would get angry. Yuezheng Ting was never a good-tempered person, to begin with. When she realized that she was fooled by Qiao again, she kept pestering Yuezheng Shao and asked him to tell where Qiao lived for real. Yuezheng Shao would not say a thing. He was very protective of his friends. In this way, Yuezheng Ting felt that something was wrong. So did Ms. Mi Jr. But no matter how much they tried, they just could not figure out where Qiao was from. They could not teach her a lesson, which they badly wanted to do. So, Yuezheng Ting was very furious seeing Qiao here. Qiao sighed and said honestly, "If you want to ask me for anything, you don't have to know where I live, right?" "Sorry." Yuezheng Ting sneered, approached her, and asked in a small voice, "Mrs. Shao, are you the manufacturers of the lipsticks at my 3rd brother's store?" Qiao was startled. She countered immediately. "No, bah." Yuezheng Ting did not believe her. Her mother reached that conclusion. Her mother said that Yuezheng Shao and his whole family really treated the couple too well and never wanted to reveal where they lived. They must have a secret. Logically speaking, the lipsticks were the most reasonable explanation. Yuezheng Ting said quietly, "Don't try to convince me. Why not speak with my mother? You are selling lipsticks to my 3rd brother, but we will offer a better price." Qiao knew that this could not be kept a secret for too long. But Yuezheng Ting guessed it a bit too fast. Still, as long as she did not admit to it, Yuezheng Ting would not be able to do anything. "You have misunderstood me, Lady Yuezheng," Qiao said bitterly. "Okay, I will tell you the truth. We are countryside people, and we don't want trouble. We had a row before, so I was afraid that you would come and pester me. Hence, I don't want to tell you where we live. I am worried that you, Lady Yuezheng, will send people to give us trouble, Qiao Xian's speech really made Yuezheng Tin angry. Why do you think of me in this way? Qiao Xian smiled embarrassedly. I am sorry to have said this bluntly, but I am very timid, and only in this way can I feel safe. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Lady Yuezheng. Yuezheng Ting. How shameless this woman was. Yuezheng Ting felt that Qiao Xian was wary of her and seemed to be on guard. But her words seemed so real as well. No, she was not a narrow-minded person. Qiao Xian was talking nonsense. Just wait and see. Yuezheng Ting gritted her teeth. Mom will find out the truth sooner or later. Qiao Xian smiled. Just do as you wish, Lady Yuezheng. Bye. Qiao Xian said goodbye to her and headed to First Madam's place. She felt that she needed to tell Yuezheng Shao about this quickly, so when the news spread around, they would know what to do. Qiao Xian was very thankful to Yuezheng Shao. But for this, she would not be able to make these mini lipsticks and sell them so well. Chapter 640. Stopping under the premise of not having enough ability to protect themselves, they could master this kind of skill that could make huge profits. But once it was exposed, not only would they not make a fortune, but it would cause disaster and even make them lose money. This was like a 3-year-old child who held gold in his hand and rushed to the market. Qiao Xian did not tell First Madam about what happened. Her own family was into garments and silk, and she had 2 large silk factories as part of her dowry. She had numerous brocades, silk, and different kinds of garments in her private possession. She was sorting through them and showed some to Qiao Xian, sharing some knowledge about the garments. That was a rare opportunity. Qiao Xian was very surprised and cherished this moment well. She had learned a lot from First Madam. She was smart and clever. She asked all kinds of right questions and even shared some of her own opinions with the First Madam. First Madam was very gratified hearing that. She liked the young woman even more. Qiao Xian could not speak highly of herself. She was not born in the same era as the rest of them, and it was not rare that she could think of some advanced ideas. First Madam sighed happily as she saw how modest she was. Half a day passed without them realizing it. Qiao Xian had to stay at First Madam's place for lunch. First Madam ordered the kitchen to make sweet and sour squirrel mandarin fish. The taste was very appetizing in summer. There were also light steamed crab powder meatballs, shrimp tofu, cold wolfberry sprouts, and beef bittergourd. The maids were ordered to make jelly and sour plum soup, which were chilled with ice cubes and could be used to cool off after lunch. After a sumptuous meal, Qiao Xian bid farewell to First Madam, since she was very busy with many things in the mansion. First Madam did not keep her, but asked her to join her again after a few days. When she was sorting the garments, she gave some to Qiao Xian and asked the servants to pack them. Qiao Xian got too many things from the First Madam and did not turn down the generosity. She thanked her smilingly. She was going to offer some things from her own home, like the fruits, the smoked stuff, snow fungus, the expensive tea leaves, watermelons, and so on. But before she was able to leave the Yuezheng family, she ran into Ms. Mi Jr. Greetings, second Mrs. Yuezheng. Qiao Xian stopped to greet her. NIS. Mi Jr. sized her up and smiled. Mrs. Shao, my elder sister-in-law, really loves you, doesn't she? She does not even treat us like this. What about having a chat with me? Qiao Xian did not want to, but she needed to visit the Yuezheng family often, so she could not escape the woman and her daughter all the time. She nodded unwillingly. I have to accept your invitation. Sorry to trouble you. Second, Mrs. Yuezheng. Ms. Mi Jr. chuckled as she covered half her face with the fan. No trouble at all. You are really good at saying nice words. No wonder my elder sister-in-law loves you. Come with me. Ms. Mi Jr. soon took Qiao Xian back to her own yard. Chapter 641. Feeling guilt, the two sat down as the maid served the tea. After exchanging a few words, Ms. Mi Jr. asked the other servants to retreat, but kept Yun Xiu and Annie Mao. Ms. Mi Jr. stopped smiling and leveled a serious look at Qiao Xian. We are alone now, so we can talk about everything frankly. Mrs. Shao, spare me some lipsticks. I don't want many, just 100 or 200 lipsticks will do. I will use them as favors. I will pay you more than Yuezheng Shao pays you. Just think of it as a favor you do for me, okay? Ms. Mi Jr. and Yuezheng Ting were truly mother and daughter, good at intimidating others. They did not even want to conceal what they were up to. Qiao Xin said sincerely, "Second Mrs. Yuezheng, I understand what you mean. But you have misunderstood me. I do have lipsticks. Aunt Yuezheng gave them to me. I have so many with different colors. I love them. But I am not the manufacturer. Where did you hear such a rumor? You are wrong." Mrs. Shao. Ms. Mi Jr.'s face sank. "There is no use pretending, right?" Qiao Xin answered. "I'm telling you the truth." "Mrs. Shao, don't be so extreme. If I find out the truth one day, you will be embarrassed." Qiao Xin thought to herself, "I'm not setting you up or begging you for anything. I am concealing the matter because you are up to no good. If you really find that out, why will I be the embarrassed one? Do you really want me to prove it to you? Sorry, but we are not so familiar with each other. I have nothing to say more if you don't believe me. Second, Mrs. Yuezheng. Okay, I can tell that you want solid evidence thrown in your face. Just wait and see." Qiao Xin almost laughed in her head. "So what? I'm not going to work with you anyway. I will be off now, bye." Ms. Mi Jr. laughed and said, "How can my elder sister-in-law treat you so nicely? After all, you should not have anything to do with my elder sister-in-law, right? You should tell me the truth, right? These people were just too nosy." Why was Ms. Mi Jr. interested in who Aunt Yuezheng treated nicely? She did not think that Aunt Yuezheng had any time to care about who Ms. Mi Jr. cared about. She thought for a while and smiled. That is not strange. The other day, when my sister-in-law and I went out for a walk, we ran into Aunt Yuezheng, who had passed out. So, I helped her to her room along with Anahua. Since then she has liked me, so I feel quite lucky. Like was a very vague word, which could not be explained conclusively. That was the only thing Qiao Xin could say. If Ms. Mi Jr. could not understand, there was nothing she could do. Ms. Mi Jr. frowned slightly. She did not like this answer, but she could not find any fault with it. Well, in that case, Ms. Mi Jr. showed a false smile. "You are very lucky, Mrs. Shao. After all, the Yuezheng family is a huge family in the province. You have helped my elder sister-in-law, and she likes you. You will have no worries for the rest of your life. Very fortunate for you." Chapter 642. Ms. Mi Jr.'s anger. Qiao Xin smiled as a way to agree with what she heard. She was lucky. Otherwise, she would not have got the superpower or the space or the husband with a huge potential as well as a mother-in-law like that. She even had so many properties that earned her the money, as well as friends like Yuezheng Shao, Aunt Yuezheng, and Xie. But her silence made Ms. Mi Jr. feel angrier. Ms. Mi Jr. believed that she was shameless and did not hear her sarcasm. "Hopefully, you will have this luck forever. Thanks, second Mrs. Yuezheng. Okay then, you can go back now." Ms. Mi Jr. found herself very annoyed after Qiao Xin left. She did not like what she heard from Qiao Xin. Where did this wild girl appear from? How can she be so lucky? She really feels so good about herself. My elder sister-in-law has picked the wrong person. Yunxiu and Auntie Mao added fuel to the fire. The three of them kept cribbing about this. Qiao Xin denied that she had anything to do with lipsticks, but Ms. Mi Jr. was still skeptical about it. She asked Yuezheng Shao to come to her place the moment he stepped into the mansion. Yuezheng Shao. Ms. Mi Jr. smiled. "Mrs. Shao was here with me. She said that as long as you agreed, she would give me half of her lipsticks. You won't turn me down, right?" The production amount was apparently doubled compared to that from last year, but it was still too little compared to the market demand. They were always out of stock the moment they came on the shelf, especially the limited version which appeared in the market. The whole province was shocked after the launch. Numerous rich ladies and madams went into the store to watch the show. They could only take a look at the treasure. In the meantime, they bought many other things in the store. Everyone felt so jealous about it. Two lineal ladies from the Xie family bought one set each. Yuezheng Ting asked Yuezheng Shao for one, but he turned her down, saying that the limited version had already been booked. What a liar. Yuezheng Ting and Ms. Mi Jr. both felt so annoyed. They turned to Madame Yuezheng to inquire about this, and she asked Yuezheng Shao, who still gave the same answer. The mother and the daughter were very annoyed. Yuezheng Ting had already bragged that she would have one set, but she did not dare to attend any banquets for those ladies, fearing that someone would ask to take a look at the limited version. Ms. Mi Jr. could tell that the profits of lipsticks were far more than she had expected. One store would make so much money without the manager doing anything. Moreover, the lipsticks were so fascinating. Both of them wanted them so much. Ms. Mi Jr. sneered at Yuezheng Shao for not having a partner who manufactured enough of these. The Yuezheng family could offer the ingredients, and the partner could just produce more. That would earn them more than the tea leaves business that they had now. But what she did not know was that Qiao Xian had been expanding the scale slowly. She had limited labor force, and she could not be too showy about it in case some trouble came to her door. She was going to expand the products and venture into things like perfume and handmade soaps. But not right now. Chapter 643. Eagerness to gain. Yuezheng Shao respected her decision and did not get himself involved in the production. But in Ms. Mi Jr.'s eyes, that was dumb and stupid. Yuezheng Shao did not believe Ms. Mi Jr.'s claim. Qiao Xian was never going to make a promise to Ms. Mi Jr. without telling him first about it. His second aunt-in-law was trying to be smart, wasn't she? She was thinking of tricking him as if he were 3 years old. What are you talking about, second aunt-in-law? I don't understand. Ms. Mi Jr. smiled. Stop pretending in front of me. That is not funny. I will put in some capital for your lipsticks business. You won't lose anything. You are joking, second aunt-in-law. Yuezheng Shao smiled. Why is Mrs. Shao involved again? That business has nothing to do with Mrs. Shao. She never talks about things which have nothing to do with her. NIS. Mi Jr. felt very annoyed by what she heard. You are humiliating me. You are a man, and cosmetics aren't a good business for you to be involved in. Why bother? You can give me the business. I promise you that you will earn more than what you have today. You will not lose anything. Why turn me down? To put straightforwardly, I want this business. We can work together. I promise never to ruin your interests. In Ms. Mi Jr.'s opinion, the business was really profitable. She only needed to get as many products as she could, without bothering about anything more. It would simply help her earn money and contacts. She had never been as earnest to a business deal as this one. She really wanted to get it. Yuezheng Shao sneered. He got up and said, Second aunt-in-law, you are really strange. If I want to expand the scale, I have my own capital. Why should I share the profits? You are so annoying, second aunt-in-law. Ms. Mi Jr.'s face sank. After a while, she said, Then tell me, is Mrs. Shao behind the lipsticks? Can you swear that you won't lie? Why should I swear about it? Yuezheng Shao asked her curiously. That is a business secret, second aunt-in-law. Sorry, I can't reveal a thing. Don't be upset. I am leaving now. NIS. Mi Jr. sneered as she looked at Yuezheng Shao's retreating figure. Nothing can be concealed forever. I will see how much longer you will be able to hide the secret. You won't be able to do it for long, because there are too many people who are interested in lipsticks. Yuezheng Shao knew what she was thinking, but he was confident enough to be able to safeguard Qiao, Xian, and Shao Yinwan. It seemed that he would need to get the CF family involved and share some profits with them. The CF family had an imperial background, and they were a noble family. The CF family should be able to safeguard whatever they wanted to. They were capable enough to do so. Soon it was July, and the 20th would be the day for examination. There were already many cultivated talents who were in the province. The hostels were filled with people, and many scholars dressed in long robes and square hats could be seen at restaurants and tea houses. Luckily, Shao Yinwan had a yard where the two of them could stay without being disturbed. It was spacious and quiet enough. Shao Yinwan studied accordingly, and sometimes he attended the gatherings held by the scholars. Chapter 644. Lan Shao Yunduan kept a low profile. No one knew that he was a close friend with the lineal grandson of the CF family and the young master of the most wealthy Yuezheng family. He remained absolutely low-key at the gatherings. He drew no attention to himself, but he ran into some cultivated talents from the same county and was mocked. Some people who did not know the truth looked down at him as well. Shao Yinduan did not care. He replied without showing emotions. Whether or not I am able to make it to the next level doesn't depend on your words. It depends on the actual result. Not everyone was belittling him, though. Shao Yinduan had befriended two cultivated talents from another county called Lu Min and Qjao. It was the second time for Lu Min to take the examination and the first for Qjao. The three of them had a nice chat and soon became friends. On July 12th, the biggest scaled gathering took place before the examination. Shao Yunduan attended it as well. Qiao Xian had looked through every corner of the province, and she was very interested in the outskirts. She was thinking about buying some nice fields. She could not get the good fields, which were very popular among landlords and rich people. She stood no chance at acquiring those. But she could buy drought fields. If she could buy a few hundred mu, or at least 100 mu, she could plant the cassava and the creeping figs, as well as a few other fruits. In this way, she would be able to get the ingredients for the dessert stores. She was thinking that if the southern fruits like longans, lychees, mangoes, and dragon fruits, as well as papayas and grapefruits were all growing well at home, she could get some to grow here as well. Those were excellent materials for desserts. She had decided to expand the lipsticks, perfumes, and handmade soaps at the village or in the neighboring areas. She could help the villagers to become rich so that no one outside the village would be able to break in. Qiao Xian rented a wagon and went out of the town with Li Xia and Li Qiao when Shao Yunduan was out for his gathering. They went traveling to see if there was any land she could buy. On this day, the three of them went to the southern suburb 10 miles away. They hiked through a forest and soon entered a flat and wide valley. Qiao Xian liked this land very much. The slope was gentle and the valley was wide. Although it looked like there was a lot of gravel and a few boulders taller than a person pop out from time to time, it was no problem planting scallops, cassava, and fruit trees on this land. More importantly, she could even get a spring at the end of the valley. With the spring, she could use her superpower and everything would be fine. But for the rocks here, she would not have the chance to acquire this place since it was difficult to open it. Qiao Xian liked this land. The valley, together with the gentle slopes on both sides, plus the other side of the ridges and slopes over the gentle slopes, was a large area. Altogether, there was at least 600 to 700 mu in total. It would be worth a while, though. Qiao Xian was calculating it in her head when she pointed at the slope, asking Li Xia and Li Qiao, "How about going up there to have a look at the land?" Li Xia got the meaning and smiled. "You want this land, don't you?" Chapter 645. Young Master Qiao asked in an uncertain voice, "You want this land? But there are so many rocks on it. You can't get anything to grow here." Li Xia smiled. "It can be used to plant roses and Chinese roses." Li Qiao thought for a while and nodded. "Yeah." Qiao Xian answered as she walked. "You are wrong. I'm not going to plant those things here. You can have a look at it first, and then you will know." The three of them talked and smiled. The slope wasn't high, but after a quarter of an hour, they reached the ridge. The slope on the other side was low too. It could be bought as well. By this point, she was almost certain about this. The three of them had been visiting many places these days. Sometimes, Shao Yunduan would keep her company too. Out of all those places, Qiao Xian liked this land most. That was the best place with enough space. Qiao Xian suddenly pointed at the feet of the mountain, then turned to her maids. "Is that young Master Xia?" Li Xia and Li Qiao had never seen Yuezheng before until their visit here to the province. They had eyes widely open, but still shook their heads. "Oh, can't see clearly." "Me neither." Qiao Xian sighed. Right, she had her superpower and could see things through easily. She was a lot more sensitive in every way. In fact, Qiao Xian did not usually use superpower to check around. Usually, she did not like to dig into people's secrets. But when she used her superpower, she could tell that it was Yuezheng and his servant. As Qiao Xian looked into the direction he was heading, Qiao Xian was shocked. Yuezheng Ting. Yuezheng Ting was waiting for him down next to a large tree. So, Yuezheng Ting was waiting for Yuezheng? Was it what she thought? That was strange. Shao Yunduan and Qiao Xian could tell that Yuezheng Ting liked Yuezheng. So, Yuezheng should have seen that too. But how could he set a date with Yuezheng Ting in private? Something was wrong. Qiao Xian used her superpower to look around. Shao Yunduan's gathering was at a side place of some noble family. Shao Yunduan had said to her that Yuezheng would be present too, but why was he out seeing Yuezheng Ting? Qiao Xian found that something was wrong. So, the three of them went downhill to take a look at the situation. Let's figure out what's happening. The three girls were very fast as they came downhill. Qiao led the way, and they were close to the place now. Xie had already come to Yuezheng Ting by this point. Xie Dong and Yuezheng Ting's maid were not standing very close to them. Qiao gave her maids a wink. So, the three of them went and hid in the shrub, not very far away. She could see everything within sight, but they could not hear what the two of them were talking about. Qiao used her superpower and caught everything that Li Xia and Li Qiao could not. What do you want so that you can return the fan to me? Xie sounded really angry. Apparently, he and Yuezheng Ting had talked about this already, but there was no conclusion. Chapter 646. Not planned. Xiao was startled. A fan? Xie fan was in Yuezheng Ting's hands? For scholars, a fan was very private. It represented their identity. If the fan was written with his calligraphy, it could be given away as a gift. No wonder Xie wanted to get the fan back from Yuezheng Ting's hands. Xiao could not help but feel that Yuezheng Ting was really good at this. She even stole the fan from Xie. Brother Xie. Yuezheng Ting looked at Xie with a gentle and sweet voice. You don't like me? But I like you so much. Lady Yuezheng, be careful with what you say. I don't think that I have ever said anything to make you misunderstand me. I will pretend that I never heard your talk today. My fan is a private thing. Lady Yuezheng, you can return the fan back to me now. If you don't want to give it back to me, I can just say that I lost it accidentally. Honestly, it is just a fan, nothing that important to me. If Yuezheng Ting told the public saying that Xie gave it to her as a love gift, would Xie agree with that? As long as he said that the fan was lost, people would definitely trust him more than Yuezheng Ting. If he really fell for Yuezheng Ting, he would just get the matchmaker to make the proposal, and the Yuezheng family would definitely say yes to that proposal. This process was never needed. Also, everyone knew that Yuezheng Ting liked Xie, including everyone from the noble families in the province. Yuezheng Ting would be stupid enough to blackmail Xie to marry her. She was too innocent. She would only cause trouble for herself. The Xie family would never allow a woman like this to set up their lineal grandson. Xie appeared here because he was, after all, Yuezheng Shao's friend, and he did not want to ruin the relationship too badly. He also wanted to put the truth straightforwardly in front of Yuezheng Ting. Moreover, he had painted the fan when he was in the best state, and it would be very difficult to paint an equally good one. That was a rare occasion, and he had some personal print on it too. It would be best if he could get it back. He felt quite bad to have to let it go. But Yuezheng Ting had touched the fan, and he would never use it again. Yuezheng Ting's face sank. She started to cry and seemed very pitiful. Brother Xie, why am I not good for you? Please tell me. I can change myself. Why don't you give me any chance? Qiao lips twisted. She felt speechless. It was really shameless of her to continue to bother the person who had turned her down. What was the point of doing this? Xie lost patience. He frowned and asked quietly, Why should I give you a chance? Yuezheng Ting was startled. Her eyes were widened. Qiao was surprised too. A gentleman like Xie would be so sharp. Yuezheng Ting would be too stupid if she continued to bother him after hearing that. Apparently, Yuezheng Ting felt even more motivated. She sobbed, But I truly like you so much. Chapter 647. Bothering Xie. How do I care? Qiao. That was a very strong stab in the heart. Sure enough, Yuezheng Ting could not stand it anymore. She covered her face and burst into tears. Seeing that, Xie asked, Are you returning the fan or not? He hated women like Yuezheng Ting. Such women pretended to be innocent, but were actually very arrogant. They thought highly of themselves and did not care anything about people around them. So annoying. He just did not understand why people like them would want to force people they liked to admire them back. Why did they think that by bothering them constantly, they would definitely reach their purpose? He just did not expect that Yuezheng Ting would get herself dressed up as a man and steal his fan to set up a date with him. What she did not know was that he hated to be calculated. That would make him feel even more disgusted. Holding the fan, Yuezheng Ting was sobbing without saying a thing. Xie Jingrong's eyes sank. He was thinking that if she did not want to return the fan, he would just tell others that he had lost it somehow. But he really did not want anything of his left behind in Yuezheng Ting's hands. He wanted to take it back. If you don't give it back, I will turn to Brother Yuezheng for help. Yuezheng Ting was startled and cried even more loudly. Brother Xie, you are so cruel. Okay, what about keeping me company for 2 quarters, and you don't have to say a thing. I will give it back to you after 2/4 of an hour, and I will stop pestering you from this moment on. Xie Jingrong did not understand what made her say so. He could not help but look at her. Yuezheng Ting smiled bitterly. Brother Xie, you can't even say yes to this small request. Xie Jingrong felt silent. Obviously, he agreed. Yuezheng Ting wiped her tears and smiled on the sly. Xiao Xian just did not understand what Yuezheng Ting was doing. She would give up her obsession after 2/4 company from Xie Jingrong? Since when did she get so enamored with this man, so she could belittle herself like this? That was different from how Yuezheng Ting should behave. Xiao Xian did not walk out and started to think. Sometime later, her face changed. Due to her superpower, she could see a few farmers from the neighborhood coming over with baskets and blades around their waist, sneaking their way here. They were whispering to each other. So, we need to be witnesses, right? Nothing else. Yeah, that lady promised to give us money when we shout what we see. That lady is very interesting. No more talk, we just need the money. Yet Tenliang, Xiao Xian suddenly realized what was happening. Yuezheng Ting got Xie Jingrong to stay because she wanted the villagers to see her and Xie Jingrong alone. The Xie family would need to save the girl's reputation. Moreover, the Yuezheng family was not a small household, and Yuezheng Shao and Xie Jingrong were good friends too. Yuezheng Ting was really bold to have come up with a plan, but she was so stupid. Xie Jingrong could not be forced to marry someone like her. He would not even touch her if they got married. Chapter 648. Countering in fact, Yuezheng Ting might end up being in a terrible situation. Did she really think that she could turn his mind around? How stupid she was. Xiao Xian did not care about what she was thinking, but she did not want Xie Jingrong to get set up by this horrible trick. Pondering over this, and seeing the villagers arriving very soon, Xiao Xian walked out with Li Xia and Li Qiao, acknowledging them. Young Master Xie, Lady Yuezheng, greetings. Yuezheng Ting's face changed. She snapped loudly. What are you doing here? Xie Jingrong smiled after a moment of surprise. Mrs. Shao, greetings. Yuezheng Ting was so annoyed and said with displeasure, Mrs. Shao, didn't you see that Brother Xie and I are here? You should leave us alone. Xiao Xian was very surprised. Didn't you run into each other accidentally? Why are you dodging? Yuezheng Ting almost wanted Xiao Xian to prove that she and Xie Jingrong were alone here. But Xiao Xian did not seem to be interested in thinking it that way. She knew that Xiao Xian was countering her. Xie Jingrong smiled loudly. Mrs. Shao, you are right. Then, he suddenly seemed to think of something and threw a speculative look at Yuezheng Ting. He realized that he must have missed something. But with Xiao Xian here, he was totally assured. Xiao Xian was cursed by Yuezheng Ting inwardly repeatedly. She interrupted rudely when she saw Xiao Xian and Xie Jingrong starting to talk. Mrs. Shao, we are here. Where are you headed to? Maybe you should leave now. Xiao Xian smiled. It doesn't happen every day that we run into each other. We can walk together. 1 a.m., not planning to go anywhere specific. Xie Jingrong developed a bad feeling towards Yuezheng Ting. How could she say such misleading words? So he said to Yuezheng Ting, Lady Yuezheng, watch out what you say. You and I just ran into each other, that is all. Yuezheng Ting felt so ashamed when she heard him speak so indifferently. Suddenly, some farmers appeared on the path, and they were shocked seeing the scene as well. So was Xie Jingrong. Then, he threw a cold look at Yuezheng Ting and looked imposing. Yuezheng Ting was panicking as if she had been seen through. Brother Xie, let's just go. Xie Jingrong was not stupid. The farmers suddenly appeared for a reason, and they seemed confused when they reached the place. There was definitely something amiss here. He almost understood what was going on. After all, he had witnessed and heard many conspiracies happening in inner mansions. But he had not expected that Yuezheng Ting would have dared to do such a thing. What are you doing here? Did she get you here? Xie Jingrong threw a look at Yuezheng Ting and asked them straightforwardly. Well, the farmers turned to Yuezheng Ling subconsciously, looking hesitant. Qiao Xian almost did not want to continue to watch this. These farmers had no idea how to conceal their inner expressions. They were just asking Yuezheng Ting through their expressions. Should we tell the truth? Yuezheng Ting snapped at them. What are you looking at us for? I don't know, that was totally different from what they had promised. They only had 5 qian as advance and had thought that they would get 10 liang in total. So they panicked. Chapter 649. Yuezheng Ting's plan backfires. What are you talking about, lady? You're the one who got us here. You wanted us to be the witness of you being along with this young master. Now, you are breaking the promise. Yeah. Also, you promised to give us 10 liang each. You need to give it to us now that we have completed the task. Yeah, we dropped our work to come here. This place is very far away. You have to give us the money. Yuezheng Ting was so ashamed that she screamed loudly. You lowly farmers, what are you talking about? I don't know you at all. Just go away. Those farmers were so stupid. 10 liang. They could have asked her for the money at any other occasion. She would have paid them to shut them up. But they were foolish to reveal everything in front of Xie Jingrong. That was akin to killing her. They would never get any money. Those farmers had been worried that Yuezheng Ting would break the promise, and seeing that she was trying to get out of her commitment, they panicked. You are a city lady, yet you are lying to us. You found us, and now you are claiming that you don't know us? We came here for the money, else we will never do anything so unethical like this. Yeah, you must give us money, or you will not be able to leave today. You are all mental. Farmers, I don't know what you're talking about. Someone bought you off, right? Who did? Yuezheng Ting tried to sidetrack the fire at Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian did not bother to defend herself. Speechless, what a talent in transferring the target. Xiao Xian did not utter a sound. That made Yuezheng Ting feel that she had found an anchor. Her back straightened up as she pointed at Xiao Xian. You are speechless, aren't you now? Brother Xie, look at her. She tried to set me up. Xie Jingrong ignored her and asked Xie Dong to give 100 liang to the villagers. Speak the truth now. With the payment, the villagers all cheered up and sold out Yuezheng Ting completely. Well, it was her own fault. She had been planning this since the gathering. She did not think her maid would be enough as proof. So she met the farmers and told them her plan. She did not even bother to conceal her face. In her opinion, it would just be one casual meeting and they would have no intersection with each other ever again. So, it did not matter if they had seen her face once. She spared no efforts to sneak into the gathering and got Xie Jingrong's itinerary to arrange a meeting. She tried to express her love to him, and if Xie Jingrong was moved, they would leave together without being seen by the farmers. If he failed to notice how good she was, she would use the plan. She would throw herself into Xie Jingrong in front of the farmers. When that happened, Xie Jingrong would need to take responsibility. She was sure that he would like her sooner or later. By that time, nothing she planned today would be worth a fuss. She loved him so deeply and was just trying to set him up for their future happiness. It was all because she loved him. Chapter 650. Not in, but Xiao Xin popped up from somewhere and ruined her whole plan. Even the farmers sold her out right in front of Xie Jingrong. Hearing that, Xie Jingrong glanced at the farmers. You can leave now. Okay. Thank for the bonus, young Master Xie. The farmers left the place cheerfully. Yuezheng Ting got both annoyed and embarrassed. She could not stand being slapped on the face, especially in front of Xie Jingrong. Mrs. Shao set me up for real. Brother Xie, you have to believe me. I never planned anything like this. Ignoring her, Xie Jingrong turned to Qiao Xian. Want to leave, Mrs. Shao? Qiao Xian nodded with a smile. Please. They had to walk this road together. What if Yuezheng Ting did something else if she was gone? Then, what Xiao Xian had done earlier would be in vain. Xie Jingrong gave Xie Dong a glance. Xie Dong understood his meaning. After Xie Jingrong and Xiao Xian left, he came to the sobbing Yuezheng Ting. Lady Yuezheng, please return the fan. Yuezheng Ting stiffened, sobbing without moving. Lady Yuezheng. Xiedong sounded disdainful and annoyed. You're a lineal lady of the Yuezheng family. What is the point of doing this? Yuezheng Ting stiffened and lost her grip. Xiedong pulled the fan out of her grasp and left. His young master had saved her reputation by not pointing it out in front of everyone. But he would never do that. He wanted to reveal these shameless people's true faces. Yuezheng Ting staggered and almost collapsed. She had lost her mind. Both Xie Jingrong and Xiao Xian were a little embarrassed. Sorry for the ridiculous show, Mrs. Shao. Xiao Xian replied. That is not your fault, young master. You are an excellent man. So many people want to court you. Xie Jingrong smiled bitterly. He did not think that he was an excellent man. He was courted mostly because of his family background. Most people would respect him when they heard where he was from. Did Yuezheng Ting really worship him like this? Not necessarily. She admired him because he was the lineal grandchild of the Xie family. But he was not going to forget how she set him up in this way. He was a cold and lethal person, after all. It was an embarrassing topic, so Xie Jingrong coughed and smiled. What made you come here, Mrs. Shao? It was his luck that Xiao Xian ran into him here. Else, he would have been in a really awkward situation here. Yuezheng Ting would not have been able to achieve success, but the process would have been much more complicated. Xiao Xian smiled. My husband is at the gathering, so I came out with 2 maids to explore the surroundings. What a coincidence that we ran into each other. Xie Jingrong said, Thanks for your help, Mrs. Shao. Xiao Xian was involved, and Xie Jingrong did not conceal anything from her, but told her why he ended up being here. In the end, he said, Mrs. Shao, you better not visit the Yuezheng family these days. I won't let go of this matter easily. And Yuezheng Ting might cause you trouble, so you have to be very careful these days. Better stay indoors. Xiao Xian was startled. She had not thought about this before. She nodded. Thanks for the reminder, young Master Xie. Chapter 651. The Xie Jingrong thought for a while and said, Sorry for the trouble, Mrs. Shao. I will watch out in case there is any trouble coming for you due to this. Xiao Xian felt relieved hearing what Xie Jingrong said. She was sure that he would definitely keep his promise. Hence, she was not going to worry. Thanks for your help, young Master Xie. That is what I should do. Xie Jingrong and Xiao Xian would not have thought about this otherwise. But Yuezheng Ting was a little too dangerous. She tried setting up Xiao Xian right in front of her, and she might do something even worse in secret. The 2 of them did not go on the same path because they did not want to cause any rumor between them. They waved goodbye to each other at the feet of the mountain. It was getting late, and Xiao Xian went home with Li Xia and Li Qiao in town. Xie Jingrong headed towards the gathering. Xiedong presented the fan to him. Young Master Xie, this fan, Xie Jingrong frowned slightly. Keep it with you, and put it away once we are home. He did not want to touch it. He felt quite distressed to have wasted his excellent work. Xiedong was annoyed too. Okay, young master, one will definitely put it away and leave it out of your sight. What a pity. Xie Jingrong felt that his words were funny. Xiedong added, We were lucky that Mrs. Shao was here. Otherwise, Xiedong felt both disgusted and scared. He understood clearly what Yuezheng Ting's plan was, seeing how she liked his young master and the farmer's timely appearance. But for Mrs. Shao, his young master would have been in trouble. They would have been able to deal with her in the end, but it would have taken far more effort. Xie Jingrong's eyes sparkled. He answered, Yeah, very lucky indeed. Xiedong said emotionally, Thanks to Mrs. Shao. Xie Jingrong didn't reply to him. He did not think that her appearance was pure luck. He even felt that Xiao Xian appeared intentionally to help him. But he could not find an explanation for this thought. Anyways, Mrs. Shao was very interesting. Xie Jingrong was not in a mood to attend the gathering, but thinking that Shao Yunduan was still there, he should visit there anyway. He was not a friend to Shao Yunduan on the surface, but Xiao Xian helped him, and he could help Shao Yunduan on the sly, in case he was being bullied. So, he went to the gathering, after all. It was not until evening when the gathering finished. The scholars and talents waved goodbye to each other and left. But in the second section of the Yuezheng family, it was total chaos. Yuezheng Ting was crying when she returned home, and she could not stop doing so in front of her mother. The episode was too embarrassing and hurtful for her. She had never experienced such shame as on this day. She lost her face in front of the man she adored, and it felt as if heaven had fallen down. Ms. Mi Jr. was shocked to see her daughter crying in an abandoned manner. She consoled her for a long while before she was able to stop herself. After a long while, she stopped crying and started to talk. Yuezheng Ting did not tell her the truth. She did not even dare comment on Xie. She simply blamed everything on Qiao. She said that she ran into Xie and was in the middle of conversation with him when Xiao suddenly popped up and accused her of flirting with Xie. Chapter 652. Venting the anger, she even said that Xie trusted Qiao words and did not defend her. Instead, he let Xiao humiliate her. In the end, Xiao even lured Xie away so that she and Jiang were left alone there. Ms. Mi Jr. almost passed out in anger after hearing the story. How dare that countryside girl treat you like this? How dare she? Shame on her. It must be your elder aunt who is behind this. She has not liked us for a long time, and now that she is back from the abbey, she intends to remove us. But for her authorization, Xiao would not have had the guts to do something like this. I will speak with her now. Mom. Yuezheng Ting stopped her. She did not dare let her go to First Madam. What if it became too big a trouble to deal with? She wanted to vent her anger, but she did not want the issue to become too big. She would be exposed. After all, her elder aunt was a tough one. She believed in her mother's capabilities, but if her mother and elder aunt had a confrontation, the result would be hard to tell. Elder aunt would never admit to it. Maybe she will accuse you instead. Why bother? Ms. Mi Jr. agreed with her. But after a while, she thought and said, You are right. Let's go to your grandma. She loves you, and I will speak with her about it. No, Grandma would bring an elder aunt as well. The result would be the same. Yuezheng Ting sneered. You don't think that Grandma can control elder aunt, do you? Madame Yuezheng could have control over the second section of the family, but never the first section of the family. Madame Yuezheng was only tough on the outside, never inside. Ms. Mi Jr. became really irritated. She was not convinced, but she dropped the idea of visiting Madame Yuezheng. She could not help but regret not having a son. If she had a son, he would surely defend her, and Ms. Liu would not have bullied her like this. But how can I tolerate that you have been bullied so badly? Ms. Mi Jr. gritted her teeth. How can young Master Xie be so stupid as not to tell the right from wrong? Yuezheng Ting did not reply. Ms. Mi Jr. stared at her and had some hope arising inside her heart. She asked gently, What did you talk about when you ran into young Master Xie? If he has some misunderstanding about you, it is fine. You can ask your brother to set a date between the two of you, and you can reveal Qiao's real face at that time. Ms. Mi Jr.'s eyes brightened. What does that sound? She had not expected that her daughter and young Master Xie ran into each other and spoke with each other for a while. The matter looked hopeful. Things would get better as long as they worked hard. Maybe young Master Xie would be moved by her daughter's devotion. This was a good omen. But if Qiao ruined this deed, it would be such a pity. Yuezheng Ting stiffened. What should she do now? She had told a lie, and it was coming back to bite her. She started to get anxious, especially when she thought of how Xie had treated her. He was so cold to her, and even asked the farmers what her plan was. Yuezheng Ting felt like screaming. She was going mental. Chapter 653. Humiliation again. How should she face Xie when they meet again? What would she do if he exposed her? Mom, let's wait for a while. Brother Xie misunderstood me, and he must be very angry. Just hold on until he calms down. Dumb girl. Ms. Mi Jr. did not agree with her daughter's cowardly approach. You should work on the matter when it is hot. You can clarify the misunderstanding when you are in front of each other. If you wait for too long, things will get worse. No, I will wait a little until Brother Xie calms down. Also, I don't want to let go of this issue with Qiao. Yuezheng Ting gritted her teeth. I want to vent my anger. She was not convinced about giving up on Xie. She had exposed herself to Xie already, and she could do anything she wanted with him. What if he was moved? Even if he was not moved, she would face humiliation once more. So what? She had been humiliated already anyway. But that matter could wait. She really had no courage to stand right in front of Yuezheng just after this episode. Ms. Mi Jr.'s face sank. She sneered. Okay, let's vent our anger at her. How dare this bitch humiliate you just to suck up to Ms. Liu? I am going to let her pay for it. She should know who she is and what she should not touch. She can't offend just anyone she wants to. Yuezheng Ting loved these words. She asked instantly, Mom, what is your idea? Ms. Mi Jr. smiled at her daughter. That woman's future is tightly connected to her husband. If we cut her husband off from the imperial examination, he will have to admit that it is his wife's fault that he didn't get to attempt the examination. You think her days would be peaceful from that time on? Yuezheng Ting was overjoyed. Mom, that is a great idea. Ms. Mi Jr. patted her hand with a smile on her face. You are still young. You have a lot to learn. I will pass on some knowledge to you. But remember, either you make sure the person you take revenge on suffer for the rest of her life, or you don't do it at all. Yuezheng Ting smiled and nodded. You are right. You want Auntie Mao to bribe the examiners? But that is not very easy. Why examiners? Ms. Mi Jr. sighed, thinking that her daughter was very innocent and lovely. She said seriously, the imperial examination is very important and we can't bribe the examiners. If something happens, the whole family will be killed. Remember, whatever you do, you have to keep yourself safe first. Otherwise, it would just be empty talk. Yuezheng Ting's heart was throbbing. She nodded constantly. Oh, got it. Then what are you going to do, Mom? Ms. Mi Jr. sneered. It is very easy. I will get Shao Yunduan's legs or hands broken, so he has no chance to take the examination. Also, no cripple can become an officer ever in his life. Yuezheng Ting smiled. That is a good idea. Somehow, made everything complicated. Ms. Mi Jr. smiled gently. You are too young to understand any of this. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.